good? What's good? Welcome to Reflections of a DJ, the R.O.A.D podcast. I'm DJ Crooked. I got DJ Never here.
Yo, what up?
DJ D Miles is MIA. Much love to D.
He's not MIA.
He's not here.
He just left us.
He's missing in action.
Just bounced out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yo, I'm doing. Peace out, guys. All right,
we got Jamie the Great, of course, and we got a special guest by way of New York.
Yeah.
We got DJ Wonder here from Sirius. What's up, man?
All right. What's up, guys? What's up?
What's good, fam?
I'm in Las Vegas. I just got here.
You just got here.
Yep.
How's the weather in New York? It's getting brick right now, right?
Yeah, and it's pretty cold out here. That's what I thought it was gonna be.
It's the same thing. I just got back from New York also. It's like, yeah, it's just the same as Vegas.
Why are you bragging about coming from New York?
Yeah.
I could do that.
Keep talking that shit.
And then you going to LA right after, right?
Yep, and then San Diego, and then coming back to LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, do a little West Coast show, man.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, man. I don't listen to Sirius Radio.
Okay.
So I know you got a show on Wednesday, Animal Status.
Yep.
Is it 10 p.m. Eastern, right?
That's correct.
What is it like? You just play hip hop and stuff, and or is it mixes? Or how does Sirius work? I'm really curious about radio, and especially Sirius Radio.
Satellite.
Well, I can be the guy to tell you. I've been there for 14 years. So
14 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I started when Shade 45 started, which is Eminem's channel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm sure we'll get into all of that, but just that particular show is straight up like horrorcore, underground hip hop, like heavy metal. Sometimes it's the craziest. It's like dark.
What's horrorcore?
Like Gravediggers, Flatliners, like all that.
So you
stuff.
play that shit?
Oh yeah, that's the nighttime shit. Originally it was midnight, and then they moved it up to 10 p.m. So midnight it was like crazy vibe. You know what I mean?
But you're playing metal too?
I mix everything. Like that's
like what type of metal?
Metallica type of shit?
Yeah, like I'll do like I have like trap remixes of Slayer and stuff like that. Yeah, crazy stuff. Yeah.
God damn, that sounds fun.
Hey, it actually sounds dope.
I've never heard a trap remix of like a Slayer song.
Yeah, me either.
There's a couple of them joints out there.
Really?
If anybody have never heard it, the episodes are up on my website too, djwonder.com, and under Animal Status.
And you heard about us through what do you call it? DJ Marvel.
Yes.
Our PR.
He is straight up your guys' publicity. I mean, I think I might have seen like other people talking about it, like on Instagram or whatever. But I wasn't really into podcasts. Like the only podcasts I listen to are like, I listen to like a theme park podcast, like Halloween Horror Nights for like Universal Studios. I listen to those. I listen to stuff for Disney World, which is like my favorite spot in America. Mm-hmm. So that's the stuff that I was into. But then,
you listen to horror shit?
My question: who the fuck is doing the Disneyland one?
Wait.
Mouse?
What is this? You can't go from trap metal to horror podcasts to Disney podcasts.
That's me, man. Pretty much everything. So the amusement park stuff is basically the ones I was listening to. Halloween Horror Nights is like during
Universal Studios.
Yeah, Universal Studios, Florida, LA, a couple other places. They just talk about basically they're leading up to Halloween season and like what's going to be the haunted houses because they get different properties.
They talk about this every week?
They take breaks usually, so like right after Halloween they'll stop for a little while and then they'll pick it back up in top of the year.
Like 4 months to Halloween season,
exactly.
Guys.
And then they'll talk about, oh man, I wonder what they're gonna do this year. They'll speculate. It's like really nerdy stuff, but I'm into it.
So how excited were you when you heard the Stranger Things maze was coming about?
Not that excited because I'm not. I like Stranger Things. I think it's dope, but I'm not like. I'm more excited. This year is a 80s theme because of Stranger Things. So there's like Killer Clowns from Outer Space and Poltergeist and stuff like that. I'm excited about that. Halloween 4, which nobody knows what Halloween 4 is. You know what happens in Halloween 4?
No,
me either. No, I think it's with the little girl or something. I don't even know what happens.
Oh, actually, the little girl, Michael Myers' niece.
Yeah,
I'm so lost. I don't know what you're talking about. So this is a podcast.
Yeah.
That just talks about what is going to happen on Halloween in Disneyland.
And there's several. It's not just one. There's multiple of these joints, so I could rotate. So the reason I bring that up is because I'm not a podcast person, but that's the only thing I was listening to. You know what I mean?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
But how long are they talking about?
Dog, it's like hour shows a piece and something new each week they come up with. Then they'll go back and reflect on past years because they need more content.
Talk about old horror movies and they
not really. They talk about the process of getting like these attractions done. You know
Damn, the makeup was tough this week.
It's nuts.
Yo, it just sounds crazy.
So like, what would you hear? Like, we're trying a new like formula for blood that that's
it's not, and
like
it's not even that technical. It's not like the Imagineers or whoever is making them. It's guys that go to it. Hey guys, what T-shirt are you gonna wear this year for the meetup? And stuff. For the meetup? Like fans. It's not the dudes. They'll have people on as guests who are like making the stuff and as experts. But
so are you going to LA this week? Are you going to Universal for that?
Well, first off, right after this, I'm going to Zach Bagans' haunted museum out here. I already got tickets for that right after this is over with.
Wait, what brought this obsession on? This is an obsession, obviously.
Horror stuff?
Yeah, because
haunted attractions?
Because even your Sirius radio program is about horror. It's like horror.
The Gravediggers, yeah.
That's my favorite genre.
From what? For why?
Let's see. When I was a kid, both my parents worked a lot, and so all I had was TV. So I grew up with TV. My aunt put me on to like the first Friday the 13th movies. We would watch all those. We would watch Nightmare on Elm Street, all that stuff. And it scared me. I didn't like it, but then eventually I kind of like came around to it. Like Nightmare on My Street, Fresh Prince, and Jazzy Jeff. When that would come on the radio, like I would literally like go under my covers or whatever. There's a reason to this day I sleep with my head under the covers. You feel me? Because I used to sleep with music on.
The craziest thing is that someone's listening to this right now and is hyped to listen to this shit. That loves this shit.
Really?
It's
is this a big thing? Pause.
Halloween is a big thing for a lot of people, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, like that's their favorite like holiday, quote unquote.
Actually, we should.
Like my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving.
So wait.
But, I'm not gonna be hype about.
Wait, let's talk about this because
it's funny.
It's odd, and I'm intrigued because I've never ever heard of this shit.
I have.
How did you know that there was this scene out there about Halloween? And then, what do you dress up on Halloween? Like when you DJ? Because no. Because I have a thing where I never dress up for Halloween at my DJ gigs, and I'm sure the nightclubs that book me hate it.
Yeah, it's like required.
You got to bring that added value, man.
But it's impossible to DJ.
Not true. I've done it.
For me, it's hard.
What's the crazy? Hold on. What's the craziest costume you wore while DJing?
Probably last year. I was a Heaven's Gate cult member. You know those dudes?
No.
All right. So Heaven's Gate was in the 1997. It was a dude that said that they were gonna go on a spaceship, and it was a big story. You guys would know it if you looked it up. You can check it out.
Heaven's Gate.
Cult member? Yeah. So the dude was like, "Yo, spaceship is coming, and they're all gonna commit suicide at the same time." So they all wore all black.
And they all wore Nikes?
Sweatpants. Yeah, that's what it's popular for because they wore these Nike Legacy. I think they were called Nike. They look like Nike Pegasus, basically.
I remember that, yeah.
And so that's what I wore, but I had to wear Cortez. So basically,
Did you get a picture?
It just doesn't even look that like crazy. That's why when he said last year, that's what it looks like.
This shit?
Nah, my dude. You gotta look. Type in a dead cult member, and then you can see.
Oh, okay.
So basically, it was all black Nike joints, black and white Nikes, and then they put a purple, like what is it called, like a tablecloth looking thing over their face, so nobody could see their face. They suffocate themselves with plastic bags and put that joint over their face so nobody could see them. So basically, I wore the drapery, and then I wore like a neoprene purple joint that matched that, so I could have eye holes and check it out. So I couldn't just put like something over my face. You feel me? That's what I wore last year to DJ.
Like this?
That's what I was last year. Yeah.
Wait, let me see.
It looks like he's going to sleep.
Yeah, he's going to sleep, all right.
Yeah.
Well, and then
we're not waking up.
I would not know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yo, so
it's like a purple ghost.
Yeah,
I just look at the sneakers. I was like, oh, it's
and they was all wearing Nike.
So I DJed a couple spots with that last year. The first spot was Jane Hotel in New York, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there waiting for the promoter who booked me, not the Jane Hotel people that booked me. And the manager comes up and he's like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm DJing. I'm just waiting for the guy that booked me."
With the thing on your head?
Yeah, with the thing on your head. He's like, "Take that off." And I'm like, "Okay." It was a process to take it off. And I'm like, "Okay, give me a second." He's like, I'm basically like, I'm disrespecting him by talking to him with a cat on Halloween night, my dude. You know what I'm saying? Halloween night. Okay, I'll take it off. So I had to take it off to talk to him, to tell him once again that I was a DJ waiting. And then he's like, "Okay." Well, I don't know what he...
Did you put it back on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get out of here, man.
So wait, you DJ'd in that whole thing?
Yeah.
And you were sweating underneath the...
Not really. It wasn't that bad. Worst, I'm trying to think the worst costume. I'm doing 3 parties this year, so I have a couple different costumes. But When
So you have a different costume for every
I
party.
try
you
to.
do?
Yeah, I try to do something
I
different.
This is
mean,
real
dude,
serious.
he's listening to podcasts leading up to Halloween. This shit is crazy, yo. I've never heard of that.
This is not my whole life, but this is a very
It
interesting.
sounds
part.
like it's
Yeah.
your whole. It's
No,
a
no, no,
major-
no, no, no.
It's your serious radio program, and you
Yeah.
listen to those. Are the only podcasts you listen to. I don't know what if you have like a closet full of different costumes and masks and shit, man.
Nah, no mask, just wigs and stuff like that.
Yo,
that I-
don't
that I
front. You
hold
be
back.
smashing chicks with masks on or something weird. Right?
I would. I tell you, yo.
with werewolf
With
with
the Jason,
werewolf claws.
the Jason hockey mask.
No, I was gonna tell you the
With
worst.
wear werewolf claws.
The worst. The worst costume that I wore was makeup. Anytime you wear makeup, because
Yeah,
you get it all over your headphones, get it all over whatever.
Yeah.
And I messing with this girl one night with makeup on. Yo, in the cab, and she didn't have no makeup on. Ended up getting all over her face. It looked crazy, yo. We got out of the cab and it looked nuts. And that was on a Halloween night as well. But yeah, don't do that,
telling you,
folks.
man.
What do you? I never dress up.
You know what? For the past 15 years, I've been Run DMC.
Oh,
I wear
smart.
the fedora, gold chain, and Cazals. So
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not really like crazy. Like I don't know. This shit just sounds insane. A dead cult member with the purple thing over his fucking head.
I think I DJ'd once my first year in Vegas, and I had a cloak and a mask, and I couldn't DJ. It was like a cloak and a mask, and I took the mask off, and I ended up taking the cloak off, and I was like, I'm never doing that shit again.
It's just
actually,
not-
one year I dressed as Rick James.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
that may be the
That's
cover.
funny. My boy DJ Parlay, he dresses.
I
as
know Parlay,
Yeah,
yeah.
Parlay did Run DMC and a pimp, basically Rick James in the same year as well.
Oh, yeah?
Or he'll do Easy E. One of the, it just uses the same wig over.
Yeah,
and over
you
and
can
over.
use that over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I like
incredible.
looking at motherfucking like I admire DJs who could dress up and do that shit. I can't do that.
Yeah,
shit.
that sounds just insane and
I guess it's
exhausting.
no fun, man.
Just
Would you
crazy.
dress up? Who would you dress up as?
A nun?
Oh my god!
Just a nun.
A nun?
Yeah, it looks like it's the easiest thing to put on and put off.
Hey yo,
It's a, that's it. It's a one-time thing.
Why would you be a priest?
a nun. He says
Yeah,
a
the
nun,
nun, I know,
a
yeah.
chick.
I know, yeah.
Yeah,
Why
have
would
you
you
seen
say
How
that?
High?
That's really disturbing. Bro.
How High? I got that from How High.
They
When
got,
were
that, they got
nuns.
that from the Blues Brothers.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not How High. That's what I was like, that's like legit the easiest fucking costume you could probably put on.
That would be a good one, actually. You should do that.
I don't know.
Nah, you should be a pope
Nah, I don't know.
with a little.
Stay Puff Marshmallow Man.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Do you know what that's from?
What?
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
No.
Oh
Are
my
you serious?
gosh, dude.
Oh,
No.
Ghostbusters.
Oh, that guy.
The giant
Okay.
marshmallow.
It just sounds like that's what I thought, but I was like, I don't know, maybe wrong.
What do you call it? Yo, like Vegas, I don't know. You can't walk into a casino with a mask on.
I don't
I
think
think
so.
so. No, I think so.
They have to have
No.
costume parties out here. They have to.
Yeah,
They
everybody's
do,
dressed
but you're not allowed to have a mask on when you enter the casino because they have the
Oh, yeah.
face analyzing shit.
Yeah.
That's true.
And they don't know who's gonna rob what.
yeah.
So you'll have security come up to me like, "Oh, you can't walk through the casino with your mask on."
It's my face.
But we're talking in
Take off
Vegas.
my face.
So
We're talking Vegas. Halloween lasts for a week.
Oh,
That's,
yeah.
that's why I hate it.
You hate it. That's fire.
Yeah, it lasts. It's like should be like one day, even a weekend. But in Vegas, it lasts like 7 days.
Yeah, and it's on a Wednesday this year, so you guys are gonna have to deal with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
for like a weekend.
I wonder
5
how the
days.
Wednesday's gonna do because everyone's gonna go balls to the wall Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then by the time Wednesday hits again, they're gonna be like over it. No,
No, they're gonna keep going.
really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm taking out my niece to trick or treat this week. This year, that's all I'm doing.
I'd be scared to take my niece or my kids trick or treating nowadays. Man.
Nah, I live in a fairly white neighborhood. I think I'll be all right.
Yeah.
That don't mean shit.
Hey,
Michael Myers lived in a white neighborhood. Look what happened.
and we're trying to go see that movie too.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Oh,
excited
yeah.
for that movie.
And then there's
Yeah.
like the costume. What is it? The awards and shit. The competitions, the contests.
Yeah, the contest. Yeah, all the nightclubs.
I feel like all the money went down though. It used to be like,
it should be like 10,000, right?
yeah, like the
Is that,
first
for,
place.
is that for like girls only, or is that for
Nah.
I want to see the import models out here that are
Yeah.
wearing these sexy
That's
costumes.
I mean, it's all
My
it's,
man's gonna come down here for Halloween.
not like all
Trying to
the
win the title.
all the cocktail waitresses, the bartenders, they all
Yeah.
dress up. I think they just like they rotate the costumes, so these
They have to, yeah.
so they don't have to keep buying that shit.
God.
I think they must hate that shit too as well.
I think they like it, man.
Can we get a sneak peek of what you're gonna dress up
This
as?
year? Okay, this year.
Just give us one of the three.
I'll give you two. One is Jamiroquai from Virtual Insanity
That's
video.
good.
Oh,
That's a
damn.
good one.
And because I have to do something with a beard. I'm not shaving my beard for a costume. That's a wrap for that. So that's one. I got the exact like fleece joint he wore, and I'm making a hat because I can't find a hat. And then the second one is Axl Rose, but like action figures had different outfits. This is the red outfit Axl Rose, where he wore like a red Charles Manson shirt and red bandana and hat and white shorts. That's the joint I'm doing.
We're getting nutty with it. He said the red
Crazy.
outfit.
I just think it's
He said the red outfit, not the regular.
Crazy. You're making a hat for the Jamiroquai?
Yeah, I got one like sent to me, but it's like velvet and it has silver on it. But so I'm trying to be authentic. So I literally just ordered some like fur material that I'm trying to get this girl to put it on the hat for me.
How much money have you spent so far on your costumes?
Not that much. It's not bad because for the Jamiroquai.
Okay, what's not much?
Jamiroquai, the fleece joint that he's wearing, I got it off of eBay, used for like $30 overseas or whatever. The hat was like $15. I'm gonna the $20 for the material to put on it, and that one's taken care of. He's wearing these joints right here. I'm wearing black Gazelles, folks, and that's what I wear every day. He's wearing those in the video, black jeans. That's done. Axl Rose, I dressed up as him before, so I already had the wig.
Oh, so it's a retro.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I just I made the shirt because you can't get like the red Charles Manson shirt anymore, so I just basically made it, had it printed, and that was it.
I don't know, man.
Process, my guy.
No, man. I don't even think like that, man. It would take a lot for me to think like that.
Yeah.
I just know I used to get mad when it was like October like 25th or something like that. And I'm like, have a couple gigs, and I see everybody going all out, and then I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? You go to the Halloween store. There's a big one in New York City, like Abracadabra or whatever it is, on 13th Street.
Yeah.
You go there, you see everybody going all out, and you're like, you kind of feel like a scrub if you don't do something. So I'm like, you know what? I think about it like a month and a half in advance now. Just get it out of the way, and then I'm good this whole month, just chilling.
You think about it since you started listening to those podcasts.
Yeah, I think about it November 1st for the next year. No,
yeah, he's like, kill him next year.
It's funny. I was thinking about dressing up this Halloween because I got a gig in San Diego on Friday.
Oh yeah,
it's a Friday, so
definitely,
and it's a Halloween party. So
What you got in mind?
I don't know, man. I have no idea, man. I want to do something different. I'm tired of doing Run DMC.
They got hang it up after 13 years.
I know, right? Yeah.
I didn't want to turn this into Halloween talk, guys. I'm
That's
sorry.
fine. It's fine.
It's okay. It's Halloween talk already, man. It's Halloween.
The Halloween
Yo,
episode.
shit! I forgot. I'm in San Diego too. Is that gonna be a Halloween theme?
I know the party I'm doing is Halloween theme. I don't know about yours.
You're there you're doing Wednesday, right?
Yeah, Friday, and then I'm in Sacramento on Wednesday. I never dress up though. No one's ever said.
You just
anything
gotta
to me.
get a little sticker that says "Hi, my name is," and just change it or something.
You know who had a good costume was Sean Perry.
What was it?
He would wear this every year. He'd put on like a snorkel with the goggles on his head and the snorkel.
Yeah.
And then he had a T-shirt that said Muff Diver.
Oh my god!
And he just wear that around. Yo, but chicks love that shit. The chicks would be like, "Oh, can I take a picture with you?"
That's
They'd be like that. He'd be like, "Oh, sure, yeah. Let's like take a picture."
What are you doing after?
I can't DJ. I'm actually impressed that you could do that, man. Pause. And you're with Sway in the morning.
Yeah. So
Every morning.
nighttime show and morning show DJ sets are pretty much completely different. Morning show we do.
Oh yeah, you're not playing fucking Metallica trap.
On Sway in the morning.
Yo.
Sway.
Yeah, they don't like that.
But you do have
Management
that.
Doesn't like
You
that.
do have that like little mashup shit going on.
So Sway in the morning is Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern on Shade 45, and I do a mix at 9:30 Eastern. At that time, pretty much every day, or I'll have a guest DJ. Come on, I'm having a lot more guest DJs lately, which I mean, I love to DJ anytime I can. Like I never feel like, oh man, it sucks. So I love to do it, but I love to put people on too. And a lot of people that haven't even done stuff on the radio before, I like to put them on. So, and it's more upbeat, like energy and not
Are you talking to, or you just?
I mean, I've started doing that before. I didn't talk at all, just do my drops. But now I do it on Instagram Live as well, and it's like it's been crazy on there. Like the people that watch every day. There's like I have a group of people that come on every day at the same time, and they talk to each other. They don't talk to me anymore. It's like their little clubhouse or something. But then I'll shout people out, and also I take requests on Fridays. We do like Total Request Fridays. I'll do my entire mix off of requests. Like,
oh, wow.
I don't know what it is beforehand. I literally look, boom, start the song. They'll hit me with the request. I'll try to mix it in. I mix it all together, like on the fly.
That's
with
impressive.
The request. Yeah.
So you've been on radio too. You've been on Hot 97, right?
That's where I started. I mean, originally I wanted to get into. I went to school, and I'm from Delaware originally. Went to school at Hofstra University, which is on Long Island. I wanted to go to NYU, couldn't get into NYU for film school. That's what I wanted to do was film.
You're from, so how's Delaware, man?
That's
I always think of the Wayne's World movie, where
yeah, you know the postcard
like, I'm in
that
Delaware.
they show during that.
Yeah, remember
that
that
segment?
Yeah, I did.
That's my town. Is the postcard that it's called the beach town. It's called Rehoboth Beach. That's where.
How accurate is it?
How that is boring?
Yeah.
Rehoboth Beach is like a gay town, my dude. It's like they come from Philadelphia and DC and go. So it was like families and gay people and stuff growing up. So it was cool. It was mad clean. It was
Mad
clean.
You know what I mean? Hey, it is what it is, bro. But then there's like Dewey Beach in Ocean City, Maryland, which is right next to us, and that's like wild party kids. So I come from the bottom of the state, which is more like it's different than top of the state, which is by Philadelphia. It's more urban. We're like rural. I grew up in like a farm community and the beach, basically. So yeah, basically not a lot going on, not a lot of music scene at all. There's more stuff happening now. allhiphop.com started, but that was up towards Philadelphia, top of the state. Me, Luke Pettigrew from New York Giants, and I'm trying to think if anybody else came out of there. Not too many people came from Delaware, but that's about it. But yeah, so I had to get out. And
what is the I mean, I want to talk a little more about Delaware too, but and how you came up. But I also want to talk about the Sirius Radio. So with Sway in the Morning, and we were talking about it earlier. I kind of want to get this out of the way. With when Kanye was on Sway, and he was wilding the fuck out. Was that the first time we thought like Kanye was a little crazy?
No, before that, remember him and George Bush?
Yeah, and
that was not crazy.
Taylor Swift, all that stuff.
Yeah,
George Bush was not crazy.
It was, man.
Taylor Swift seemed passionate, but
okay,
the Sway though.
Let's talk about the George. Let's talk about Taylor. No.
Let's start with George Bush.
No. Let's start Hurricane Katrina. George Bush doesn't
that
care
was the
about
first time.
When George Bush doesn't care about black people when he's next to Mike Myers.
Mike Myers, yeah.
That seemed like he was pissed off.
Yeah, that looked.
We didn't think he was crazy,
but that was live.
That was
emotional.
Yeah, but you thought we thought it was.
That was the first sign of like.
But that came out of nowhere. It was just like, yo.
Well, because he had that platform. He's like, yo, I'm gonna say it.
It was just.
And that was like a sign, though.
But you just saw how real he was, right?
Yeah, you're like, yo,
and then with
real.
the Taylor Swift, you were like, yo, he was drinking Hennessy and
passionate.
That just even shows how more real he is, right?
Yeah,
that he's for the culture.
Sway
like he's
in the morning,
sticking up for Beyonce. And the Sway in the Morning. You were like, yo, this motherfucker's a little off, yo.
He's like really passionate.
You must have. You were there, right?
Yeah,
you must have thought like, yo, this dude. You was. You must have been shocked.
Dog, it was like a weird energy. It was like Yeezus Time, which I love that album, by the way. Yeah. And I like because like all the dark stuff.
Funny enough, it was like October too.
Not a lot of people like. I like that album.
I like industrial music, like Nine Inch Nails, all that.
I love Yeezus,
and so I thought it was dope, but. That was the vibe of the room. He came in with just like record reps and stuff, and like it was just awkward. Like the Def Jam rep was like, do not walk behind him. He does not like it when you walk behind him. And I had to go around to go to the turntable because we ended up trying to do a freestyle with him. So I had to go to the turntables. So I'm controlling the board, which is what I do on a daily basis as well. And then I also DJ. So I had to get up and go around like, get out of here. You're not gonna tell me where I can't walk. And so I just walked in by the turntables. It was just like weird, bro. And it was I don't know.
But supposedly in his defense, he just had come from Charlemagne, right?
I don't know if it was that same day, but I know that there was
very recent.
There was more toned down interviews where you were saying the same stuff about like, you can't tell me what to do. I've tried this already. They're trying to blackball me, blah blah blah. It was kind of that whole same vibe, but this was just the epitome of it, I think, and it just kind of exploded for some reason.
Yeah, on Sway. Damn.
Of all people, Sway.
I know. Oh, you don't know this? Over the summer, there was a new bromance that flourishes here in Las Vegas, and it was my man Nev and Sway clicked up, and they became the best of friends.
Man. Yeah.
Yo, wait, you guys were just talking about that Michael Jackson tribute, right? Mm-hmm. And you were gonna fly out to actually go to that. Here in Vegas.
I was gonna hang out, yeah, because Sway is like, yo, it's his 60th birthday celebration. It should be dope. And I like coming out here. It's cool. Like check some stuff out. So I was gonna do it, but I didn't end up doing it. I should have come hung out with you guys. I didn't know it was such a bromance.
You would have been in the bromance too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, never really thought that he made a new best friend with Sway.
I didn't want to disappoint him. Never. I don't want to disappoint you, but Sway does that with everybody. He's the nicest guy ever. He makes everybody think.
He was like, I kind of figured that.
That is really a skill, though, right?
I could honestly say I can never do what he does. Like, you see me, if you come to the show, people must think I'm a prick, man. Like, because I'm just sitting there like, because I'm a producer, DJ, whatever. I'm worried about what's the next guest coming up. I'm making sure music is playing, making sure we don't go off the air, making sure forms are signed, paperwork, all this other stuff while the show's going on. So they're like trying to talk to him like, yeah, okay, hey. And Sway's like, hey, man, get over here. Like, lay back. Like,
buddy, yeah, man.
He knows how to work a room. He is a genuinely nice person, and he really cares about like what you think. Me, on the other hand, it's like I can't do that
because you have a lot of shit going on.
And even at parties and stuff like that, like I'm not. Like, he'll walk through even airports where if we're traveling to do broadcasts, stop and talk to every single person. We don't get to eat for like an hour later if we go to like a mall or something like that. Like it's over, and he doesn't like hide out. He'll come hang out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I never came in here telling us. Yeah, my man Sway and I.
And it was funny because Jamie was jealous. That's why he brought it up.
I wanted to be part of the bromance.
No, never. You were really G'd up though from that Sway show.
That was cool though, man.
He was G'd up.
He was like, yeah, he took a picture of Sway, man.
Now he was like, yo, man. Big shout to my man Sway. I was like, yo, that's not your man. Yo. He's not your boy.
So he'll meet DJs, he'll meet MCs. Be like, yo, whatever you need, I got you. Whatever you need. They walk out of there thinking, oh man, I got the end. Next thing you know, text message me, yo, hit this guy up, or somebody will just hit me out of the blue, have my phone number or my email. Hey, Sway told me that I could go on the show whenever I want, and so I'm supposed to sit here and like schedule this person in with who knows if he even wanted them on the show or whatever, but I have to like kind of like figure it out.
So I'm kind of play it off,
yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. Then I have to go back and like, yo, did you meet this guy and say that he wants to come on the show? So nicest dude, and I wish I had that skill. He's a people person for real, and that's why he's gotten as far as he. Besides his knowledge and everything else, like he's just. Even in the office, I don't know. Yo, I've been there. I've been in Sirius 14 years. I don't know half the people's names. He knows everybody's names, the interns, the new people that just started, all of that.
You let Sway know that never said what's up, bro.
I'll tell him.
Tell us why I said what's up.
I will. I'll hit him up.
Neva is still glowing from that shit, yo.
I don't blame him, though. It's fucking Sway.
Whenever we mention Sway's name, his smile is like from
look at him.
The haters in this room.
I'm not mad though because Sway is probably the biggest radio personality in hip hop. You can't name nobody bigger than that.
I mean, for career wise and everything else.
Top 5, definitely.
I think top 2.
Top 3.
Him, that's it.
He's been around for a long time.
I mean, like, think about the shit he's done. The last Biggie freestyle, all that shit, man. Like, give him props, all the TV shit. I'm telling you, I don't mind the glow.
That's crazy. He's still doing MTV.
He's been at MTV longer than anybody, I think. Like, it's been
he owns MTV.
18 years. 18 years.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to think back.
There's nobody bigger than him. Big Boy in the Morning, probably.
Big Boy is the only other dude that's like...
Probably.
Yeah.
That's still going. Yeah. But
Big Boy's more known in the West Coast than the East Coast. Like, Sway's known all over.
Across the board. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I give it to Sway. That's why I don't mind the glow. I don't mind this glow and the smile that happens to this man.
Thank you, Jamie.
He was joyful. He came in here.
My memory is so bad. I'm trying to remember. Like, I don't... Was Sway on New York radio?
No, I remember him starting off on MTV.
That's what.
You were in New York when he was okay.
He was on.
So he started in the Bay, and then they moved to LA. They had like a syndicated show, and then they syndicated all over the world and all over. Then when I had met him a few times when he moved. I think in 2000 to start doing MTV stuff like MTV News. I met him where I did radio with him before at Hot 97. That's where I first really started hanging out with him.
So he was on Hot 97?
So I started at Hot 97 under Star and Buck Wild, which if people don't know, was crazy morning show on Hot 97.
They were like the first shock
hip hop shock
jocks. They were like the Howard Stern of hip hop.
Yeah. I mean, Star
is like fucking Howard Stern of hip hop.
Said some foul ass shit. Yeah.
And that was a crazy first experience for me in radio. You know what I'm saying?
So that was your first time producing a show, or?
I was an intern and production assistant, basically, like just getting research and doing whatever I could, basically, for the show. Once they ended up having issues with their contract or whatever, they bounced. They left. They like threw up plaques on the hallway, and like it was a crazy scene, right? So they dipped. As soon as they left, they started auditioning other people to take that slot. Randomest people.
And it was like a morning, the
biggest show on the station. The morning show was the biggest show on the station. Yeah.
Now, you were there for the tail end of their whatever contract, right?
Yes, that's right.
This is 2002?
2002, yeah.
So, like, when they were on the radio, you were there after when Star was talking shit about Leah.
Right after that happened, that's when I started. Yeah,
like months or weeks.
It had been a little while. It maybe like 6 months after.
But was there still the stigma of there was this weight of that whole thing, or it was gone?
I think they all knew like that it was serious, but they played it off. You know what I mean? Like they never admit it.
But I always thought that was kind of the reason they didn't renew the contract.
No way. That was not it. They were still killing. You guys got to understand, at that time, Hot 97 was the only thing going in New York City. Power 105 was a station called Jammin' 105, which had just started, and that was old school. All right, we didn't have any old school stations in New York. So you could do whatever. You could play whatever you want. You could blackball artists on Hot 97, and they wouldn't be played anywhere else. So everybody was like bowing down. So it didn't matter. Like their ratings were beating Z100. Like they were only, I think, second to like Light FM, which every cab driver played, which every store played. That's why they had crazy ratings, you know. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they could do no wrong with that. I think that was just their personal reasons for leaving. Yeah.
Wait, so Star and Buckwild, they just decided to leave?
Eventually, yeah. I think it was something with their contract or money and stuff. I don't know what the real deal
was.
They
just trashed The Office.
It was funny, man. It was like going out in style, like you would see in a movie.
It's fucking crazy. I know Buckwild's nuts, right? A little bit.
Nah,
I
think Star's more nuts than
neither one of them are nuts. They're like very intelligent. Yeah. But Buckwild was just kind of, he was young. He was like
a little bit in that factor, like nuts, like the wild card.
Yeah, he's just a little bit older than me, and he was just like, imagine having that power when you're that young, and you know you're in the biggest radio station you grew up with, and you could go out to parties, girls know you, blah blah blah. So he would just come in sometimes with like drunk or what, I don't know, whatever, just being normal. And Star was very calculated. He didn't hang out. He didn't do any of that stuff. He literally would go home, go to sleep, watch every show, which I learned a lot from him. He'd be up on every piece of media, like know all of that stuff. I learned a lot about research and knowing your stuff from him.
And that was a lot harder back then too.
Yeah, because you couldn't do a recap of everything. Right. And also you had to record things on like VHS, or maybe there was like DVR or TiVo back then, and then put it into the system. Now you can get a clip from any website, from any TV show. So yeah, it was way harder.
That's good. I mean,
is that like right before Joe Budden got into it?
So that's one of the people that they that I started working with, that they were auditioning. Joe Budden, and then Sway, and I think they did the Gomez brothers, who were it was like Renee and some of the guys who worked at G Unit. They wanted to do like a show. That was another one that they auditioned. But
sounds crazy.
Joe Budden didn't last very long. He was like he once again, young dude, and he would come from a club. Sometimes we'd have to put the mic there. This table like we're sitting on right now, like is like the console. He would go under the console and just lay down, and we would have to bring the mic down to him sometimes, so he didn't feel like sitting up or talking. But yeah, so then after them, then Sway did, and I think he had the longest run for a person that they were auditioning, and that's how I first met him. And when I first started working with him.
That's why like I'm a little off on Sway on the radio, just because when I was coming up when I was growing up in the 90s, and all I did was like listen to radio. It was like Ed Lover, Dr. Dre,
Angie
Martinez. It was Funk Flex. It was like all these different dudes, like Bobby Condas, David Levy, all these Red Alert, all these old school motherfuckers, and then I would just know Sway from MTV.
Yeah.
But you didn't get they had put out Wake Up Show like mixtapes or anything on your side, like that had never come through.
Not really, not on the East Coast.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was the first West Coast like there was one DJ from the West Coast who was just big, and they started like pumping him into the East Coast.
Felly Fel?
No. It was either Big Boy or Sway, I think.
Big Boy was one of them.
I think that was like, and it was like a major thing. I think we were like, yo, this. And then we were just kind of like, oh shit.
Are you talking about when they actually were syndicating him?
Yeah, syndicating him in New York.
That was a little bit later on, maybe like 2000. It was right before Ebro and all them started.
Oh, okay.
So they tried that out because Power 106 was a sister station to Hot 97. And it was like, it's easy. Like, you don't got to pay two people. We can just, simulcast basically the show, even though they did certain news stories and weather and stuff like that specifically for New York. But they still just basically did their broadcast from LA. So, and it was weird, man, because I'd been in New York for a little while, and I kind of knew like people weren't kind of open to like a West Coast dude. Like Big Boy is West Coast.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like talking like that and everything. It's just New Yorkers really aren't open to that a lot, I don't think.
No, not at all, especially during that time.
Yeah, I think it was like we were all kind of weirded out about it, like in the beginning and stuff like that. But I mean, that's the only time I remember like West Coast, and it's still I don't know much about Sway, but until like MTV and stuff.
Yeah,
and then it became like a major staple, and for me as a part of hip hop and stuff like that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So like working with him every morning. How long have you been working with him? Since 2000.
Yeah. Do you want me to run through the whole series, like Shade 45 lineup that I went through?
Yeah.
And then it got up to him. So leaving, I stayed. So basically, they auditioned all those people like I talked about for Hot 97. They eventually ended up going with Miss Jones, who had been doing Star and Buck Wild before, like as a sidekick. She ended up getting her own show. So it was Miss Jones, and I was working with her. Eventually, it was just crazy, and I ended up having to leave that, man, because it wasn't fun for me anymore.
Wow, what was happening?
Just the energy was way different than with Sway or even with Star and Buck Wild. It was just a little different. I love Miss Jones, she's dope, but it just wasn't for me. I did work 2 jobs at that time. Like I was getting paid like shift pay for doing the morning show stuff, and then I would go. Luckily, I was able to stay in the company. I was a sales assistant at Kiss FM, which was the R&B station that was around.
I actually interned at Kiss FM back in the days.
Yeah. So I would wake up at 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever, and go there to do the morning show. Work started at 9, but they allowed me to start at 10 because the morning show got over at 10. I would go straight from 10 o'clock over to my sales assistant position, stay until 6 at night, maybe, whatever.
What did you do with sales? You were just selling ads?
I was the assistant for people that sold ads. I probably could have sold ads as well if I really tried to be proactive about it, but I just was worried about the radio side of things.
So were you always, did you always just want to be on radio?
Nah. No? I talked about it before. Film school is where I wanted to go to school for. Yeah, so Hofstra had a great film program, but they also have a professionally run radio station. So I would do radio as a hobby on the side. I ended up doing it like pretty much every Friday and Saturday night of my life throughout college, but still was focused on film. I got an internship with Harvey Weinstein, Miramax. That's where I first got my first internship for film.
Goddamn.
It was dope because...
Did you ever like work with him?
Not... I was around him a lot, yeah, but not specifically for him. I worked for his underlings, like his right-hand people.
Right.
No pause. I don't know what kind of you want to do with that. But yeah, he was, even back then he was known not like sexual thing, but just like a hard dude. Like don't get in his way or whatever.
He's always been known for his like crazy temper. Yeah.
So while I was there, I worked in the acquisitions department, which is you would get scripts that are already like done or movies that were already made, and they would just license them, whatever, or they would put them out, or you would get scripts, and I got to read a bunch of new scripts that before they were made in the movies, and people would decide whether these movies would get made. So that was cool, but the environment was mad sterile, and it wasn't cool to me to just sit there and do that. So I would go to the mailroom, and with the mail dude listen to Hot 97 like for an hour every day, and just I'm like, man, maybe this is something I should do. So basically, I was like, you know what? Let me put it out there. I'll go out for an internship for Hot. If I get it, I want to be in the programming department. I want to be like in the midst of all the talent. If I get it, then I'll go. Ended up getting it. Ended up staying there after my internship was over. Ended up starting working there, and that's how I got into radio and film. It's kind of a wrap. Left Miss Jones. It's just like, you know what? I guess I'll just go to this sales job since I still have this at Kiss FM. At least I'm still in the industry or whatever. And if something else happens, then whatever. 2 months later, my boss who hired me at Hot, a guy named Reggie Hawkins, who was also on the Star and Buckwild show, Sergeant Reginald Hawkins, that was his name on the show, went over to Sirius to start working on their hip hop channels. He's like, yo, hit me up. Eminem is starting a channel and they're gonna need a producer for the morning show. And I'm like, yo. And they're gonna pay me a salary so I could do what I wanted and not have to work 2 jobs. So nice. I left. The person that we started with was Cypher Sounds, who I knew from Hot 97. He was the first host of the morning show on Shade 45. So from there,
how was that working with Cypher?
Cypher's awesome. I love Cypher. Sometimes we didn't click near the end just because we were both doing the same thing. We're both DJs, and maybe I should have taken my producer job a little more seriously than me trying to get my career started. But I'm in the beginning of my career, and I'm like, yo, I'm taking any gig I can. So he would see me sometimes doing, like, I got an article in Vibe, or I would do something like that, and he was like, yo, how's this kid that is working on my show getting this stuff, and I'm not getting this sometimes. So I feel like maybe I overstepped my bounds sometimes in that aspect when it came to just the radio show. I kind of, but yeah, working with Cypher was great. I learned a lot about his DJ experience, working with Flex and everything else, touring and stuff like that, and just how to do radio because he's a funny dude.
Yeah, what does like a radio producer do? Because I always think about like a film producer, right? And I know what they do. They kind of just like try to get the film made by any means necessary and blah 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 blah. But what does the radio do?
So it's pretty much the same thing. Like you're responsible for getting things done. A lot of times there's multiple people to help with that, but this was at the beginning of Shade 45. It was one person for one show. You were responsible for getting talent. You're responsible for paperwork,
booking the guests,
all that. That's what I mean. What I should have been more proactive for the radio side of things is like I should have been sitting there calling people or finding out which artists are in town. Like, yo, we need you up at the show, rather than me working on putting out mixes or like going playing nightclubs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I wasn't a full like gung-ho radio producer.
When did you start realizing like that self-awareness, like, damn man, maybe I should start focusing on this shit?
When Cypher would tell me, no, I'm just kidding. I mean, it just wasn't for me, man. Like, I'm not a paperwork kind of person. I do it well. I do attention to detail and all that stuff, but I didn't like it. I was fortunate and blessed to have a job doing that and being in that industry, but I wanted to DJ or produce music or do something, be more creative. I just needed health insurance and salary.
So with Sway in the Morning, are you're a producer still kind of like a slash?
That's still my position. It hasn't changed.
So when guests, like when let's say Tyga has a new single, does he hit you up or do you hit Sway up? Like, how does that work?
A lot of times when we world premiere songs, people will hit Sway and Sway will email me like, yo, we want to play this tomorrow. A lot of artists will hit me directly now, or their label will hit me and saying we have a new project coming out, and I'll say, yo, we got to play something that nobody else has, blah, blah, blah. And so then I'll have it. So at this point, it's kind of 50-50 when we have like world premieres. But going back to Cypher, and then just real quick, after that, we needed somebody to do news. Everybody has like their news person or like their rumor person or celebrities or whatever. So we had this girl named Angela Yee, who had never done radio before, right? She was working for Shady Limited Clothing. And
she seems really like quiet, like
she
a
was.
mouse.
She was. She was managing Jizza at the time, so she was working with. She had worked at WooWare, I believe, or with Power.
Just know that I have the biggest crush on Angela Yee since like
Ange, do you hear
10
this?
years.
Do you hear this?
Longest time, bro. I don't know what is it about Angela Yee that I love.
She's very charismatic, hardest worker that I ever worked with in radio. Like,
that's the Asian side.
Exactly. No, straight up, yeah.
What is she?
She's Filipino and black. Bro.
No. Her mother is from Montserrat, so she's Caribbean, and her father is Chinese.
That makes sense. There's a lot of Chinese motherfuckers in the Caribbean.
Nah, they met in New York.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
But shout out to her.
There's a lot of Chinese motherfuckers in Jamaica though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel yeah, definitely.
The Chin family.
Chick fan.
Remember Jamrock, the club? That's the first club I ever DJ'd at in Hempstead, New York. Also the first club I ever met Cypher Sounds at. I forgot to tell you guys, I worked at Franchise Record Pool for Funkmaster Flex when I was 19 years old. It lasted for 2 months. My parents told me I couldn't be out till 3 in the morning while I was going to college.
I used to be a member of Franchise Record Pool.
Okay.
Back in the days. I used to hate it, man. If I missed the pickup on a Friday,
it's a wrap.
They take my records. They take all the hot records. And I come in Monday, I'm like, yo, where's the new Mary?
I didn't get one record while I was there. Not one record.
Nah.
I would go to like Club Speed with Mr. C, and I would just hand out flyers. I didn't get records and stuff like that.
Nah.
And it was just a whole, coming from Delaware, like we talked about, not a lot going on. Nobody in my family's in music. Nobody plays a music instrument, anything like that. I'm an only child. I had to learn everything myself. Going into this, I got into that by just emailing, which had just kind of started, that you could email businesses. It wasn't even really around like that. You had to send resumes and stuff. I emailed a person named Born Allah. I thought he was like Nordic, like his name was Bjorn or something, but I didn't realize 5% talk and all that stuff. Born Allah is who I talked to over there at the Franchise Record Pool, and they put me on. But that was my first experience.
Mr. Excitement.
Mr. Excitement as well. Yep.
Going back to Angela E.
Okay, back to Ange. So,
what makes her like the hardest worker in radio that you ever worked with? What factors did you see in her or you saw her do over other people?
Okay, so she had never done radio really before. We taught her radio between myself, Cypher, and Reggie Hawkins, who was our boss. And she picked it up really quick. And then besides that, she wanted to listen back to herself, and she would be really hard on herself. The only bad interview she ever did was when she first started. Was this like burlesque? Dita Von Teese was her name. She ended up being Marilyn Manson's wife. Mm-hmm. She didn't know that was Marilyn Manson's wife at the time, and kind of like she said something, and it just was like, yo, you didn't. The girl was like, you didn't know that? Like, duh, you idiot. Basically, the way she said it. Ange never forgot that, and she didn't forgive herself about that. So she made sure she was up on prep and knew everybody moving forward after that. She was very hard on herself. And she would go out. We would record in Union Square, record in Times Square. We would go anywhere with the recorder. Nobody does that with me now. Interns do that now. You know what I mean? Like, she was an on-air talent that we would go out and get people on the street interviews, and like it was nothing. And we just go to every party, do all that stuff. She was just really about it. So
wait, I have a question. She was on the Breakfast Club, and I think Syph was on there, and then she said that Syph kind of got her fired from Sirius or some shit. Is that true? And he was like, "No, I don't think so."
No way. No, that's not what got her.
Or he didn't defend her. Or he didn't like.
She didn't get really fired. She left to go do Breakfast Club.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. It was. I mean, there was some things, like we were going through some issues. Like she wanted to like get sponsors on our show, but we're commercial free.
Or was Cypher maybe really hard on her or something? Maybe
Cypher, not really, because they did. I mean, I don't know how he felt about her. So eventually, Cypher left to go do the Hot 97 morning show, which opened up, which was his dream. So he just bounced pretty much immediately when that opportunity opened up.
Yeah.
It was just me and Ange left, and a dude named Sean Jaffier, who was the emoticon. He was like kind of like our tech guy and did a lot of stuff. And so it was just us. It wasn't really like a star-studded cast left there. Angela stepped up, and we made her the host, man. We made her big, and she did it herself as well. And they kind of serious, like when you're homegrown talent at a place, they always hold that over your head, like, yo, you're lucky you're here. Yeah. We let you be here. Not when they pluck you from somewhere else, you have a big name. They're gonna treat you like royalty. You feel me? So always kind of like held over our heads, like, all right, it could be any month now. You know, maybe we'll get somebody bigger than you to put in here. You know what I mean? So maybe she felt like that. And so when the Breakfast Club opportunity opened up, Envy, who also worked at Sirius with us as well, and I don't know if she really knew Charlamagne like that, they kind of got acclimated to each other through talks about going over there. And then she bounced. When she bounced, I was doing the morning show by myself. It was called the Great American Morning Show. This with the dude emoticon, Sean Jaffier. And that was just, we were just waiting for somebody to replace us. Basically.
How long were you doing it dolo?
That was a couple months, man. It was months at a time. They were trying to get Sway from the beginning, like once Angela left, and Sway didn't want to do it, so they were courting him. And then after that torture was up, eventually they got Sway to sign on, and then
torture was up.
Yeah, basically.
Well, you
but you got that radio voice.
I don't know if I do. Maybe now I do, but back then I sounded like a dork. Like I hated hearing myself. A lot of people that come up to the station now, they don't listen to the headphones. They hate hearing their voice.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. So I don't know if I had to learn it, especially like I hate the way DJs talk, like when they're mixing and stuff. Like I never wanted to be like that. So
what do you mean, like
you're either yelling or you're being like cryptic. I don't know what you have to pick a voice. So I was just like to talk to people like when I'm DJing. Like I thought it was more natural. You know what I mean? Like,
I do the same thing.
I'm trying to think.
I can't think of
I'd
any.
be like, who's getting tacos tonight?
Exactly. Like I'd rather be funny and like say some wild stuff, which I've always done. Like because I'm not gonna be taken seriously. Like I was playing like straight hood clubs when I first started, like Cheetah and like all these spots.
Yeah, you mentioned Speed. Yo.
Yeah,
that
Speed,
shit was pretty
like,
hood.
Yo,
yeah,
definitely.
I don't know what that is.
Speed was
It was like
hood.
one of the only white people in the clubs as the DJ growing up. So like I never wanted to be like saying like, you know, who's got real hair and stuff. People look at me like, what are you even talking about?
Okay, mentioning the white people.
Yeah.
I found out why they call you DJ Wonder.
It started at Hot 97. Yeah.
They just said you were Wonder Bread.
Yeah, Miguel Candelaria, who was the
Are you serious?
He was the producer of Starbuck Wild, actually gave me that name. And Reggie, my boss, gave me that name. I was originally DJ Delaware, WHERE. That was my original college radio station name, was DJ Delaware. And then they're like,
Wonder worked out better, man.
Yeah. They're like Wonder Bread. Because I was only, even at Hot 97, I was the only white person up there at the time. Really, like things have changed so much, like in radio, nightclubs, DJing. Everything
Was you
else.
mad at first when it was like, yo, DJ Wonder?
You're like, man, fuck y'all.
I thought it was fun. I'd probably be mad now. I take more pride in my white heritage now than back then. I was just kind of yeah, man.
You're German or what are you?
My last name.
You don't even know.
I don't know. Honestly, my last name is kind of like, I guess it can be considered German. I've never taken like a genealogy. My parents we never gone back and looked, but I'm guessing German of some sort.
What? I don't want to say your last name.
It's kind of like a badge of honor though when motherfuckers break your balls and give you a name. I mean, that's actually your name.
Yeah.
That's your name.
That's what I took it as. Like I
know at first I'd be pissed off, but then like after a while I'd be like, oh, okay,
I Wonder Bread. They're successful.
I mean, I'd had that my whole like college. I didn't really talk to any white people. Like had all black friends in college and everything else. Parties I would go out to, all black parties. So I'd been around all that. It's like it is what it is, man. I'm not gonna trip over that. You crazy?
That's dope though.
Why are you more proud of your white heritage?
I've come into my own now, like in enjoying white music. Like in college, I wouldn't even listen to white music. I'd listen
white
to
music meaning country music.
No, even like white rappers. I'm sorry, guys. I don't talk about my boss, but like I would only listen to like jazz, hip hop, but I moved to New York for the scene. I wanted to be a part of the raucous scene. Like I loved like Mos Def and like not even Black Star hadn't even come out yet. Like the stuff like the singles that they were putting out. Like that's what I wanted to be around. Like
why do you think that was at the time?
All the DJs you have on here love that era, yo. They love that so much because it was authentic.
It was
man.
a pro. No, but I'm saying, but why? Like I remember, like Third Base wasn't really like pro-white. Nah. You know what I mean? I think the first pro-white dudes were House of Pain.
Yes.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
Like Irish motherfuckers, right? And that was the most pro-white shit. Because even young black teenagers.
Oh yeah, they
were not pro-white.
No.
But there was definitely a stigma where like white people in the 90s were like not ashamed to be a white, but kind of like
you wouldn't promote it for sure.
Yeah, it was like, weird, right?
What was it? Back to the Hotel, In Too Deep, Back to the Hotel.
Yeah.
Those guys. Like I'm trying to think who else it was. But
Wait, In Too Deep was white?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Two white guys. Yeah.
Nah, I didn't know that.
But I always thought it was weird. Like Third Base making a song about like white people. Like being evil, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, they mentioned in the Gas Face.
Yeah,
Search specifically.
Yeah.
Prime Minister Pete Nice was never. He was just more on like his,
like white pimp shit.
Yeah, pimp stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, the reason I'm coming around to it now is because that's the only music I listen. I don't even listen to hip hop. Like,
so what you listening to right now?
If on the way to work every morning, I have a playlist called Soft Rock, but it's everything from Shania Twain to yacht rock joints to TV theme songs to stuff like that. Coming home, I listen to a playlist called Grunge, which is a party I do. It's a grunge brunch. So it's basically grunge music, 90s alternative, some hip hop in there, like Cypress Hill, Beastie Boys, stuff that was like on alternative channels. Yeah. So that's the stuff I'm into. Man, I'm stuck in the 90s, like, you know what I mean? Like, I like going to rock bars now. Like, I don't even like going to see, I like to go see DJs. I still like to go check everybody out, but straight up, that's the music that I'm kind of into now. I don't know.
I'm not mad at it.
I'm not mad at it.
Exactly,
that's how it was when I was growing up too. I started liking hip hop when I was like 5 years old. My cousin gave me a tape, like Fat Boys on it and stuff like that. Then I went into my hair metal phase, like Poison, Warrant, all that stuff. And then I came and then I did like kind of like a punk phase, and then back to hip hop. So maybe that's what I'm going through now.
So when did you like want to get into DJing? What made you like in Delaware?
I took a class at Del Tech Community College when I was
Delaware Tech.
Yeah, Delaware Tech.
I heard you were 10.
Was it 10? Yeah, it was either 9 or 10, somewhere around there. And it was a professor. No, he was a guy that was getting paid to teach kids DJing, but he was like a wedding DJ, so he taught kids how to like put RCAs into a mixer. He did. That's what he was telling us, how to be a mobile DJ, right?
How to be a mobile DJ.
None of the kids care about that. We just want to scratch records all day. So that was my first taste of it. I've always been into beats. Like I wanted to do some kind of production, so I guess it kind of like got into DJing. In high school, they had some techniques sitting around in my high school. I put them together and would use them on my lunch break. Eventually, I got my own turntables, started playing high school basketball games, which had never been done before. And
what was your first pair of turntables?
Linear Techs, I think they were called. They're from Music Factory in Queens. Yeah. I got them sent. And with the Gemini like sampler joint that everybody has.
Was it a belt drive Linear Tech?
Both belt drive.
I think I got those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They teach you, if you want to learn how to scratch, or you want to learn like, or at least want to have like a completely different feeling when you get on techniques, start with those as a kid, because they get your touch pause sensation up. You know what I mean?
Sensation.
For real.
That was like, DJ Wonder.
You know how long it took for the record to start on those joints? Remember, like
I think it fucks you up a little bit. The belt drives.
Nah. Because you're heavy hand.
Because you got to push it. You got to push it forward.
That's like wearing weights when you're running or jumping and trying to dunk. I think it's a good thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like it made me push the record forward.
It gave you a heavy hand, you think?
Well, no. I think I probably had a heavy hand anyway, but I had to like push the record forward with the belt drive. So even now to this day with direct drive techniques, I sometimes push the record forward.
A little bit?
Yeah.
I can see it.
But I'm just not coordinated, so you can't really throw me in a mix of shit like that.
So wait, I want to get into something that is legendary to me. Okay. The 5 Fingers of Death, man.
5 Fingers of Death. Okay.
How did that come about?
What is that?
It's a legendary freestyle that happens this way in the morning. Only the greats have survived.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what it originally was when we first started to what it is now. This started on Sway Show maybe like a year in or something like that. We were doing freestyles, and I would just throw beats on. Sometimes if an MC was really nice, I would just rotate the beats at the same BPM just to give it like, you know how everybody does. They'll switch beats up, but not trip up the MC. We wanted something kind of like to trip up dudes that were really nice and to see if they could get down with different BPMs, different genres, everything else. So we started this thing, 5 Fingers of Death. Sway came up with the name. And it's basically 5 different beats. It started as 5 different genres of music, 5 different tempos, and they just had to keep flowing no matter what we would put on. And
well, you guys still do that shit now?
We do. It's still called the 5 Fingers. We had to, like, let me tell you, the first people we had on was like Childish Gambino, Kendrick Lamar, and Schoolboy Q, like Papoose, like all these dudes, King Los, all these dudes that are nice. You know what I mean? So that we were able to do it back then.
Freestyle King.
But you got to pick and choose who you do it with.
Well, yeah, because now, then the guests we started, the people. You think any of these guests that started coming up after that could really even freestyle? Let alone do that?
Who were the first guests that you had to start being like, "Yo, chill, these motherfuckers can't do it"? Because
I
think it was Rich Homie Quan and Young Thugs.
That era
of Young Thug. And Rich
Young Thug never did it.
It was Chief Keef, but right before them. Like that kind of thing. He wouldn't even freestyle, like, of course.
2012.
Yeah, right around there. Yeah, none of those.
Did they try to freestyle? Or it was just like
some dudes would, and sometimes we had to cut them out of the video. Like we'd have to edit it. Like you would hear it live, and sometimes people would record it, but we wouldn't put the video out of them freestyling if it was really bad.
Let me ask you, were you impressed with Shia LaBeouf?
Hell yeah.
Shia LaBeouf did one.
The fuck out of here.
That was great. It was great, guys.
It was written.
I don't care, but it was good.
It was nice. He contacted us. He wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it was some kind of like get ready for a role or something, but he's really, he's friends with Cage, the MC Cage.
Yeah,
so he's been down with all that stuff.
Nah, dude, there's some legendary ones. There's that Childish Gambino one is like the one with the hat where he stops and he starts conversating.
That's the second one he did. He asked for that beat though. I didn't trip him up with that one.
Do you guys, so before the 5 Fingers of Death, did you talk to the rapper about what, like, you know, the artist, like, yo, what BPM or what kind of track do you want?
No, Sway would, because he's nice. I'm not. Nice.
He's like, I'm gonna get these.
Yeah, because I'm like, yo,
what is the preferred BPM that motherfuckers want to rap on right now?
I'm good at profiling. Like I know what you want to rap to basically.
So what do you think? What is the preferred BPM right now? I would say like 80 BPMs, right?
Right now, yeah, that 3/6 kind of like Memphis sound. Like that's what they like. It's a little more than the trap and a little less than boom bap. Basically, that's where they're at right now.
That's where all the songs are at right now.
Yeah.
No Limit, Mob Ties, Nonstop,
Sicko
all of that
Mode,
shit. Sicko Mode, all of that shit is 80 BPMs right now.
Nah, but there's some legendary freestyles. You guys gotta check them out.
But there was a lot of people that I thought that I was wrong about. They're like, nah, man, put on some like Shook Ones or something like that.
Tyler, the Creator, had a good one too.
Tyler, yeah, I did a Neptune's beat because I knew he loved Neptune, so I did a Neptune's track with him, and he killed that joint.
So break down how you do it. Like so you drop one beat, right?
Originally, this is the format. I would start with a beat that they could kill. So usually I would start with a 90s hip hop classic beat, like 90 BPM, 92,
Shook Ones,
something like that. Yeah, that I know that they could start out nice with. Then,
wait a second.
Okay.
What?
I just got a question. I don't know if I want to hear like a motherfucker rap to a 90s beat, like a 90s track.
I like.
I wouldn't mind.
You like
really?
a down south dude rapping over that is fire. You don't think so? Like I think it's a nice. If it's like Papoose or somebody, then you're like it's typical.
Just think like T.I. on Shook Ones.
Yeah,
that's
I don't want to hear that.
I want to hear that. I kind of want
mind.
I want
to. Ludacris.
Do you switch it up or is it usually the same?
So
shit?
wait. So that's the first beat.
Be Shook Ones.
No, and sometimes it's not even like popular. It's just that's basically what it sounds like. Classic traditional hip hop would be the first beat to kind of ease them in.
90 to 100 BPM.
Exactly.
Okay.
From there. But sometimes I would slam it in, but then
in
pause.
Yeah, pause. But in the middle of them rapping,
I give them a sugar, you know what I'm saying, to let them know that yo, get ready, here we go. This is when the roller coaster starts. So then, but then I would kind of like mix everything and I would slow down the BPM. We go to 70 BPM now, so it's either going to be a trap beat, a traditional hip hop trap beat, or I would do a dubstep. Or
wait, how do you do
EDM
that?
Trap
How do you do that if they're rapping?
Because they'll be like, and they'll hear it and they'll kind of go with the beat. I ease them down, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like sometimes be like, yo, what's happening? And then they're like, man, you're not gonna survive. But if they start going with the beat, then I know that I can work with them.
You're not surviving the five fingers.
Second one would be a 70 BPM joint. So like I said, dubstep, EDM trap, or hip hop trap.
What would be a standard?
Like a song, or
I
would change it up every time. I would even make a log list and never the same song twice.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of one like stuff you never even heard of, man. Just like weirdo stuff that I would get.
Okay. You want to throw them off?
Yes.
Okay.
But it would still be funky though. Like everything's got to have some kind of hip hop drums to it. I don't play like cornball stuff. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be a little weird. Okay. From the 70 BPM, then I would go down a little bit, even slower than that, and go into a house track, which is like 128, 130 or whatever. Uh-huh. So and they can kind of keep their flow going because it kind of transitions into each other.
They're expecting this. They're anticipating.
After the first couple of times, like Kendrick and School and it was Absol, and I don't know who it was, but they're like they had no idea.
But these dudes are lyricists. I mean, you know what I'm
that's
saying?
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You got to do it with these people, and you can't do it with just the app. Because people were requesting it, so they'd be like, "Nah, I don't think you. Let's just do a regular freestyle."
Like Yachty couldn't do that.
No way.
Juice WRLD couldn't do that.
No. That's
he didn't even want to freestyle when he came up to the show.
Basically, all of them, no. Like Lil Pump wouldn't do that. None of them would do that.
The guys you're mentioning, though, I'm trying to think of people of this
like
era.
Russ would do it.
Yeah, he would do it, but that's like a lyricist. I'm trying to think of guys you wouldn't imagine
that would actually do it.
That who are kind of like the vibe MCs that are actually lyricists. Who Chain?
Two Chainz?
Oh yeah,
would kill that shit.
Yeah, 2 Chainz could do it.
He's nice. Real quick. So from the house joint, then I would go to a metal or like rock or something different. Like at
so this is the fourth beat.
The fourth beat is like 110 BPM from 130. Bring it down to like around 110, and it's a looped something. It's not an instrumental. It's a part of a song that I like, maybe like Metallica 1, where it's like you know what I'm saying, like that. I would loop that part and then end off with a soft rocked banger like yacht rock or like some 80s R&B or something like that to kind of like ease them out.
I actually like when they're freestyle and then you cut the beat and they go for like a bar and then you drop the other beat.
Yeah,
that's
dope. I like to ease them because I found out it's the better way for them to get the rhymes. If I cut them and slam the records in, it takes them a couple bars for them to catch the beat, which I don't like to do. I like to just keep it flowing.
Who's been the worst one?
Oh my gosh, dude.
We'll bleep the name if you have to.
I can't even think of who's the.
There's been so many.
There's only been a few that are really good. So
well, who shocked you that you thought we were gonna kill it and they end up not really?
Oh my gosh!
Other than Shia LaBeouf.
Shia
LaBeouf.
That
was the opposite. I didn't know if he was gonna be.
I have like 5 that are my favorite.
Tell me some of your. I'm trying to just think of who's even done it. I have to look it up. We've done so many, man.
They do one like all the time. I like Shia. Shia was dope. Chance the Rapper was dope. Tyler the Creator was sick. I like the second Childish before the one where he's wearing a black jacket. Oh man, who did that? And then you guys just had this one dude lately with the white boy. He was just mean off the wall. I can't remember his name, but he was mean with it.
Not Marlon Craft, not that dude.
No, my cousin put me on this dude, but no, there's some that are just fucking insane.
See, I think like a dude.
I love when you guys get the battle rappers too.
They're not always the greatest freestylers.
No, they're not. But some of them were pretty good.
I like I feel like a dude like Meek Mill wouldn't be able to do that shit.
We've done.
I think Meek can do it.
That's somebody that surprised me because once again you think somebody of that stature, like because he was big at the time already.
He's just a street rap.
Yeah, and you're like he must get in the booth and punch in his verse like every 2 bars or something like that. Nah, he is like. He went on and he would do it to like hip hop beats as well. Like he would just go and he's like, no man, keep it going. Like Sway would just, are you done? And like, no, I want to keep going, you know what I mean? So that's that Philly thing though. So
yeah.
Lil Dicky surprise you?
Little Dicky's a very smart dude. I know he can rap. Like he's good at that stuff. He's funny. So I knew he was gonna be nice. So
Mac Miller had a good one too.
All of Mac's are dope. And I switched the beats up a lot.
Enough.
You mentioned dope. You mentioned dope MCs.
Mac Miller was a mean MC. I don't know what you're talking about.
You mentioned dope MCs.
Yeah, we're thinking of people. We're thinking of people that we might not.
I'm trying to just
you'd be surprised to do it.
Who's that dude? Who's that dude on BBC Radio or like the British guy?
Tim Westwood.
Tim Westwood.
Yeah.
I will never forget fucking Rich Homie Quan freestyling for like 20 minutes on Tim Westwood.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I don't think I've watched that.
Oh my god! It was some of the worst. It was that was the beginning.
Oh, it was bad.
It was horrible.
Oh, maybe I have seen it.
I could imagine that.
When he was like, he was just like just gibberish and singing. He was like, he said, oh my god. They put on the Lauryn Hill, If I Rule the World with Nas thing.
He's rapping over that.
He just started singing. He said, I want all my girls to suck it, baby. And he just started singing that shit.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing him and like Young Thug. It was fucking horrible. And I was like, yo, hip hop is dead.
That was the beginning.
And the funny thing is, all these young motherfuckers look at Rich Homie Quan and Young Thug as like
their forefathers.
They're the new generation of like of like the new Lil Waynes, right?
None of these the guys starting with that generation have. That's what they're just doing. What they do in the studio, man. Like they're just vibing, they're drinking and smoking, whatever, and then just whatever comes out, they're like, let me say it. You know what I mean? They never had to go up to a radio station and like, yo, you guys have to freestyle. Like this is part of the interview. They don't understand that. Even now, like they don't understand that. They know when they come to Sway, it's part of it, but everywhere else, it's like easy. It's like a cakewalk.
My question is this though: when you got a dude like Meek Mill or you got a dude like Kendrick, right? Those were the dudes that were the nicest on the block.
Yeah,
that they would like motherfuckers would test them, they would rhyme, they would battle motherfuckers, and you would be like, yo, that's the one, that's Neil.
Yeah.
How does Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan, like, how did that happen? Like they obviously they don't have that battle element, you know what I mean, where they had to like prove it to motherfuckers. So they were just either just getting high with their homie and fucking around.
And came up with something.
They
have a following a lot of times. From some of them are great drug dealers. Some of them had money that they could actually afford studio time where other people couldn't. I think Young Thug started with Gucci Mane on mixtapes, like doing like verses. I'm not sure who hooked them up or how he even got to those ranks, but that's how he how he got put on. Wow. But
because even when they were like doing the freestyles, I don't even know if they understood
the element of freestyle,
the concept of like being on Sway and then like doing that shit.
I just know I'm not an MC or anything, but I knew as a DJ or as a music lover, I always knew the history, like stuff before I was born, 70s, 60s, like 80s music, but that was even before me. You always go back and study.
Yeah.
Like I went back and studied everything. You know, nobody does that anymore. Nobody cares. It's all about right now, which is it works for them, but it's just not what I would do. You know.
Yep. Same with DJs as well.
Yeah.
They don't study the music from back in the days.
There was an interesting point about that, though, was that when we were growing up, and I think it was on the Joe Budden podcast, Rory said this shit. Like, when we were growing up, we had to listen to whatever our parents would listen to.
Yeah.
Or whatever was outside. And the fact that everyone has their own phone and everything, and you're not forced to listen to what's outside or anything.
I never thought of that, but yeah.
Now, so like, a kid can listen to whatever they want. They're not growing up on the history of hip-hop or what the parents were listening to, right?
I didn't either, though. Like, my parents didn't listen to music growing up. We didn't have, like, records hanging around the house or anything.
But you came up on hip-hop, and hip-hop was sample-based, so you kind of wanted to know.
I had to go back,
Yeah, you wanted to know what the original was.
Yeah.
And I don't know if motherfuckers care about that shit now.
No, not at all.
No way.
It's way easier too now than before.
Music is disposable now. It's not even music in general is not the same as it was a treat for us. It was like something you would spend your allowance on. It's not that anymore. It's different, man.
Yeah.
Video games like are now maybe what music was for us growing up. I mean, even though we had video games,
I think video games are the same. I don't think anything's changed for
video games. Have turned into a job for people. Video games have turned like it's a way to chat with people and everything else. It's a lifestyle.
But the value of video games has gone up.
Yes.
Right?
And music, I believe, has gone down.
Oh, that's so crazy.
Yeah. I was gonna say the cost is kind of the same though for video games.
Oh yeah.
It never really changed from $59.99.
Nah, even with Nintendo, that shit was always fucking like $60, $70 for a game,
it's always been
yo.
the same.
Yeah.
Nah, but yeah,
I mean,
it's crazy.
Fuck. That's fucking nuts, man. What do you call it? So with I keep wanting to go back to Sway in the morning, man.
Yeah, we can go.
Well, so we are in the Sway in the morning.
I know.
I
but I want to go back to the Kanye shit, man.
Oh, okay. Go to the messy shit, then.
Yeah, because I've watched that episode with Kanye on, and it was just, you were watching, I don't know, like his frustration, and then like, you know, Sway's such a nice dude, right? Yeah. And he wasn't even trying to control Kanye. He was trying to show him, well, maybe you didn't try this option, or there's these options, or why are you like trying to rely on these like rich white people to come and like, you know, help you and invest in you and all of this shit. But in the end of it all, what did Sway take from that shit after like Kanye left? Did you guys talk about what happened at all?
Has he gone back since then?
He's never been back since. They were friends before that.
Yeah.
Like
something about a TV.
Supposedly Kanye had given Sway a TV. That was the whole joke. Like a TV had laying around, or I don't. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Kanye gave Sway a TV. But we talked about that for years after that. But immediately after, like, it was just still weird. The tension was still in the room, but. They ended on. If you watch the whole interview, they end on a good note. You know, they say "I love you" to each other. It's all good. But it was still.
But it was Kanye realizing, like, yo, I just snapped the fuck out. Like, I was out of line, yo.
Yeah. Even Sway said, he was like, we ain't gotta do this. We can turn these fucking mics off.
No, but I don't think he said it like we could fight.
I'm your boy.
Yeah, I'm your boy.
We can turn this off if you want to talk to me about this shit.
Exactly. People have taken it like that. Like, yo, let's step outside or not. That's not. That's not what it was.
Let's take a walk.
Yeah.
I kind of felt that way.
Nah, Sway was trying to say like, yo, it's not about like.
I'm not doing this for the views.
I'm not doing this for the views. I'm like, I want to come talk to you. I want to see what's going on in your mind. Shit, we could turn off all the mics and we could just talk.
Yeah,
I know. But Sway coming from Oakland, somebody saying that, yo,
we get busy.
Take these headphones off and we can
deep
go
down inside. Maybe that's because Sway has hands. I've seen it for real. Like him just like airboxing and stuff like that. He's an athlete. Like he's an athlete, like pretty much. I wouldn't mess with him straight up. So it's good to go. That's why we're never intimidated by anybody that comes up there. We can ask anything we want, but we're not like sensational on the show. We don't do things a lot of other shows do. We don't go for headlines. We get like real stories, and people are more open to give you a story if they're not on guard thinking like, oh, you're gonna ask me about my baby mama and stuff like that.
But was he legit worried about Kanye after that interview?
Worried in which way?
Like yo, like that's not normal. Like that motherfucker
as a human. Yeah, absolutely, because he cares about him. He does love him straight up.
But y'all could tell like something was wrong with him, right?
Yeah, it was. I could tell from the energy. I'm not even an energy person or like one of those like weirdo like hippie dudes. Like I'm not into that. But something like heavy came into the room, like at that time. And I think he's much more stable now than he was at that time, bro. Like,
no way.
I don't think so. No.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What? Wonder what part?
Absolutely.
Please.
I think a lot of stuff he's saying now is, if you take it outside of politics, is he's saying some good things. It's all about dialogue and bringing people together and loving
What do you think?
people.
What do you think is what he's saying is good?
What do I think?
Yeah.
Is that I'm trying to think.
I think first of all, I think he's one of the most inarticulate, like,
Human
individuals I've ever.
Yeah, he's very visual. I will say,
Yeah.
that's how he gets things out.
But you're right. When he can articulate what is in his head, I would say 70% of the time it can be like, oh, okay, that's really genius. But then as time went on, like in the earlier interviews, the genius kind of like the brilliance kind of made up for the instability.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
That's what people will give him a pass as long as they're on his side of politics. You've never seen this until he's on the wrong side of people's politics or betraying his race or whatever people are saying. But I think that's the first time he's really crazy and he's off his meds. Nobody really talked about that when he had first lost his mother, when he was talking about it in his songs, like I'm On or whatever the song was. He's talking about losing his mom. You know what I'm saying? Now he's a psycho. He doesn't know. Somebody needs to get this guy help. Why right now? That's what it is. He's on the wrong side of people's politics, man. And that writer, he hurt a lot of people. Like, they don't know what to do, and he won't back down, which every other celebrity backs down. You know what I'm saying? If they say something wrong against Twitter mobs and stuff like that, he won't back down. He keeps saying it. So now we're canceling him. It's a wrap.
So I disagree. I think what's happening now is he doesn't have the team that he had back then.
Yeah, that's a big factor.
And I think the team he had back then were, when they were working with Kanye, was genius. I think what they did was groundbreaking.
How did they correct any of his past indiscretions?
I think what happens is that like creatively and execution wise, from concept to execution, I think his team of Don C, his manager, Virgil, Jerry Lorenzo, IBN, I think they were all there not only to filter him, but also kind of reorganize his thoughts, because he's not articulate, but they can like take it and represent it to the public and kind of create a movement out of it.
I mean, he even said Virgil was the one to do all that shit.
And I think Don C was there to like control him and filter everything, and then Jerry Lorenzo was styling him at the time, and IBM was like doing his hair. But probably that just being around your homies and your friends and then creating dope shit, and then now it's like there's that love of creating with your homies is missing. It's everyone that he's creating with it works for him. Yeah, so it's like, you know what I mean?
It happens to everybody when they get a family, I would think. Like, if you're in a different creative space when you're on the grind and when you're with your friends and you come home to all that stuff. You know, it's a different stage of his life, man.
Yeah.
I want to know what is different now, why he's so crazy now compared to when he was being very erratic and like talking about people's kids and stuff, like with the Wiz situation and all that. And
I think
they didn't cancel him for that.
That was part of the whole beginning of it.
Which one?
When he said he told Wiz, I'm the reason why your baby's here, some shit like that.
Yeah, he was going at it.
He said some shit, but that was like the beginning of this whole.
That was the beginning. That
was like 2 years ago. This is the life of Pablo.
Yeah.
But no. When he said the shit about Wiz, was life. But I'm saying we started seeing him being unstable with Yeezus.
Yeezus was more so like they're trying to contain this genius creativeness that I'm trying to give out. Yeah. But now it's like they're trying to contain this way of thinking.
No. I think they were upset. I think they were 100% angry, and they were trying to voice everything that he was angry about. And that's why his anger became a tactic. Remember, he started ranting, and then
at his shows,
and then it became a thing where he's like, "I'm gonna rant at every show," and then he got obsessed with the attention. But I think it was built upon their frustration because the fashion world was not letting them in.
Yeah, so that's where I think it comes from. It was a corporate. They wouldn't let him in the corporate America side because he was black or whatever. He would run that so long on Nike. Right. Nike wouldn't give him royalties. So then now he's on the side where, okay, if they don't let if you can't beat them, let's join them. So he went that route. So the route where people are like, yo, you were like the forefront about representing us and letting us in, but now you're running with them. So people look at him crazy for that.
It wasn't let's beat them, let's join them. It's
what it looks like.
No. It was about Nike isn't giving me any shares of their profits, right? So they're marginalizing my involvement with everything. They're trying to be like, yo, you're a rapper, so you can only do this with the sneaker.
We'll give you a signature shoe.
Yo, we'll give you this, but he's like, yo, y'all just sold out of that. How come y'all don't give me more? I want to do a clothing line. And they're like, nah. He tried to do it himself. He couldn't do it. He's trying to do everything on a large scale, on like $1 billion scale, $1 million scale. He's not trying to do shit like, yo, I just want to create. So that's why when he had the platform with Adidas, they needed him. So they gave him they literally gave him their whole brand. They were like, yo, you got a Yeezy brand, what you can use everything that you want and blah, 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 blah. So that they literally did that. Remember? And then still they were like, we don't know if we want to fuck with your clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was still wearing the clothing outside.
And then what happened like a year or so later, they said, oh, now Yeezy and Adidas is one, and they started backing his clothing.
And that was Calabasas.
Right, exactly. So then it's not that like, let's beat him, join him. He's always wanted that. But Nike never gave that shit to him. You feel me?
And who did Nike give it to now?
I mean, they gave it to Virgil.
He started like how many careers? 3 or 4 careers from Don C to Fear of God to
there's like 4 of them.
So the question is this. I mean, that was to me the first sign of, wow, like he's unfiltered and he's like unstable and he's just like losing it a little bit. I don't know if he's always lost it. But I don't know, like, if it was triggered from his mom passing away.
He never really, like, went through that whole grief. Because right away he went to 808.
But that was his grief.
Yeah.
The 808s was his grief.
Nah, man, it's not. There has to be some time away from a lot of shit.
No. That's why he started singing, because he said, I can't rap about this pain. I have to, like, sing the shit. And I can't sing, so he started doing auto-tune.
And he needed... Like started getting relationships, like more public relationships, because he needed a mother figure, somebody around.
I just didn't think he went through the right process for that.
Probably not, but I think 808s was definitely that was the result of his grief with his mom.
Exactly, yeah.
Shit was crazy. Nah, but I don't know. I think he should have gone to a different process than everything he went through that year. He brought the Amber Rose shit was about, the 808 shit was about, the 2 years later, the fucking Taylor Swift shit was about. So just, never really left.
I met the dude in 2004. He came with Hot 97, I think, or maybe 2003, probably something like that. Very humble dude. I think Jersey City. He was like with 88 Keys and all that stuff at the time. It's just industry. They talk about like selling your soul and stuff, and like you think that's like a joke or whatever. I'm going back to the Halloween stuff, but like straight up, bro, like you could sell your soul. You could be around all these people that tell you certain things, and you turn into a completely different person, man. And I just think 10 years later, it's like something happened. Maybe he needed a breaking point.
The crazy thing, he mentioned that in a freestyle. He said, I sold my soul to the devil, but it came with some toys like a Happy Meal. So it's like that shit he's talking about right now. It makes sense.
I don't know about that, but I mean, it kind of, but not really. I think what it comes down to is that as you start making a lot of money, you have to protect yourself, especially with the people that are around you. You know what I mean? And I just think that the team that he has right now are just literally taking advantage of him.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens to every artist, bro. It happens to Michael Jackson. His own doctor killed him, bro. Didn't Prince's own doctor kill him?
Well, he took too much.
He took too much.
Yeah, he took too much
drugs. Yeah,
it's just everyone on your team. Like, yo, I mean, rest in peace, DJ Am. I mean, I don't really know what happened, but that's another thing where he shouldn't have been like traveling. He shouldn't have been like flying nowhere. Yo.
Yeah, after that accident,
he needed a break after that accident.
He needed a break. Like, yo, and then that's what I'm saying. It's like he shouldn't have been doing a TV show with a
bunch of drug addicts.
With the drug addicts and being around crack and shit, and heroin, whatever the fuck, I mean? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, you need motherfuckers who are going to protect you, especially, and not just be like, yo, here's an opportunity. Let's not shut the door.
Let's
on
make
these
this money.
So you never DJ'd a night that was going to be a big night, and you knew you should have stayed home, but you did it anyway.
I mean, fuck. I mean, But there's a difference to that because I haven't.
It's on a small scale, but you're affecting other people's salaries basically. In a certain way. So imagine being. You have to keep going, man. There's no stopping. That's what it's called, selling your soul. It's basically because why do you think like Rolling Stones still tour? Why do you think all these people still tour? Do you think they love it? It's a part of life, and you're also providing for mad other people. Like, you can never stop, really, unless you just stop.
Like guys like the Rolling Stones, they could retire. They don't have to tour. I think they do it because they really like it. Or
maybe they sold their soul, and it's part of the contract. It's part of the contract. You never know. Bob Dylan did say that. There's an audio clip of him talking about that a long time ago he got what he wanted, and now he has to do what he has to do.
Wow.
So you never know.
That sounds scary. Conspiracy theories.
I have a lot of them, bro.
By DJ Wonder.
Yeah.
that's another show on Sirius Network coming through.
I mean, I think it could be kind of almost like that. If I think there is like. Not a secret society, but I think in everybody's career, there's a higher power. And at some point, this higher power cleans some shit up that you might have done. Maybe you fucked a girl and she overdosed, in your hotel room, and they cleaned that shit up. Or like, like you owed a ton of money. Like, I don't know if you've seen Jersey Boys. They needed like the mafia, his mob boss to come in to clear up the debt of his... of one of their band members and shit. Like, there's always an underground element to anything. It's like, when you think about Drake and Jay Prince and all of that shit.
So you're saying that it's like some type of Illuminati?
It's not a
higher power. I'm not saying Illuminati, but something like that type of power.
Even Drake has a higher power.
Listen, I 100% believe in Illuminati. I believe in public rituals. And you can say it's funny.
Have they approached you to join Illuminati?
Nah, dog, I'm waiting, man. But I'm
waiting. I'm send the contract over.
Wait, you would join that shit?
Nah, I'm 100% for Jesus. You understand? I would never sell myself. I would never there's a lot of ways that you could sell yourself out, and even not standing up for your beliefs is a certain way that you cannot that you could sell yourself out. I'm always voice my opinion.
So wait, the Illuminati. What do you think the Illuminati?
I believe
break it down.
That there are people who fund a lot of these celebrities because they know that they're the voice of the people, even though they're low in the totem pole of compared to like the Rothschilds and all of the other people who really control the money of the world. You understand? They use these people as like their mouth and as their propaganda, basically. So they'll give them the things that they want. And in turn, maybe there are some kind of rituals involved, a darker power. Who knows? I want you to look at every Super Bowl performance and using the color red, using symbolism, using triangles and stuff like that. Just go back and look at the past few Super Bowl performances. Look at the top pop stars right now, female,
look at the
male.
Jay-Z, Beyonce performances.
Okay, you say it, but yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Look at their tour together. Look how much symbolism is in there. And you can take it as it's a joke, and maybe you can even take it as them trolling people, thinking that at this point. But there's a reason why people thought that from the beginning.
I mean, watch the throne alone.
Oh boy,
that's just symbolism like a motherfucker.
Yeah, like pagans and all.
Yeah. Like,
I just think it was the designer. What's his name? Yeah,
Givenchy.
No.
Yeah, Givenchy was the brand.
But he was the creative director for.
Yeah, Ricardo
Tisci.
Yeah, which. If you look at their symbolism of that season's line of clothing, a lot of that stuff is the same thing, man. Symbolism is very powerful. Remember Black Scale for streetwear wise?
Yeah. Mega's my boy.
Yeah, shouts to Mega.
Ask them what they're into. Like,
what
they researched to get a lot of their designs. Like, I used to wear their stuff all the time, and I still would.
I mean, they were the first. They were the first.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah,
Mega.
Without them, there would be no Givenchy. There would be no ASAP Rocky.
Yeah,
dude, Mega is goddamn.
There would be no Fear God. 100%.
For real.
Yeah, Mega's
without
crazy.
Mega. Shouts to Mega.
Yeah.
He's a fucking
mad.
He's a mad scientist. He knows all the fashion.
And he's just like cool, calm, collective dude. But
I mean, if you look at that, I mean, Rick Owens is another one that has that dark gothic feel and all of that shit.
With his like life partner, who's like,
she looks like a troll.
Yo, that is the weirdest relationship I've ever seen. But I guess it works for them. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just crazy. She looks like a witch, like 100%.
Straight up.
So you believe that there is a secret society? Like Illuminati.
Oh, absolutely! I believe there's a secret society, but then the levels of supernatural and everything else. I believe there's forces of good and evil in every industry for sure.
What do you mean? You believe in supernatural shit?
For example, what?
I don't know if I believe in. I don't even know if I believe in ghosts, honestly, or like
I believe
like
in
that
ghosts.
stuff. I believe
in ghosts.
I believe in Jesus and the
You
devil.
guys are morons.
Working at me, or you believe in ghosts too?
Yeah, but someone said that our workers would say that there was a ghost in the warehouse.
There was a fucking ghost, dude.
It wasn't a ghost.
Yo.
There was something in there, man.
Yeah, there was something in there.
A victim of mafia past.
I don't know.
It would come on late at night.
Yeah, just the fucking radio turns on.
You guys are morons.
No, I just believe there's good and evil. If it's Jesus and the devil, that's what it is. I believe that's what it is. There's somebody influencing you. You have the choice of taking one way or the other way. Mm-hmm. So that's all it is to me.
I agree.
I still believe in ghosts and leprechauns.
And I've seen it, man. Like, it's coming from a town like Delaware, coming from somewhere.
Yeah, that's where fucking Hocus Pocus popped out.
No, man. I'm talking about like a quote unquote wholesome place or somewhere. Like, my mentality completely changed going to New York City. Like, from cursing more, which I try not to do too much, like to just being desensitized from everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the industry is the same way. You become desensitized to a lot of stuff, and you become open to doing more stuff that you thought you would never do before. And I think that's what happens to a lot of these people. From
Definitely.
their private parties. Who knows what goes on at that stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've heard stories.
The after hours, the after parties, and shit like that. Yeah.
Supernatural conspiracy theory.
Never's done a lot of things.
Whoa! Pause. I'm gonna save you on that one. Pause, my man.
Never has been in the cave.
I've seen a lot of things.
He's seen a lot of things. He's done a lot of things.
Speaking of that, talking about Vegas, have you guys been privy to some interesting times out here from moving from New York out here? Like,
of course.
People are a lot more. I don't know what the word is.
There's just
it's like a bacchanal out here, like Roman times.
The problem is that there's an indulgence out here. I think the indulgence is the biggest thing. Temptation and indulgence.
Yeah,
it's where like no one tells you stop.
Oh.
Like you could just keep going on and on and on. And if you don't check yourself, like that's why some people move to Vegas and they only last 2 months because they just overindulge. And it could be. And the thing is whatever your weakness is. Vegas is a city where you can overindulge in any aspect of it. So if it's girls, you can overindulge in girls. You can overindulge in drugs and liquor and gambling. It's like all here, and it's readily available.
That's why I say I do like coming to Vegas because I can control it now and it's fun, like in little spurts. You know what I mean? Pause. But it's like first time I came out here was bad, bro. It was bad.
What year was that?
Well, what was your indulgence?
Okay, well, what I came out here for was 50 Cent Get Rich or Die Trying movie, okay? Me and Angela Yee, they sent us out here to interview 50 Cent. That was our only job.
Yeah.
Okay? I'd never been to Vegas before.
Right.
Okay?
2005.
Okay. I'm like 24 years old or something like that. I don't know. Just never been anywhere before. Come out here for that. We go to the movie screening. Cool, never really been to movie screen. I'm like, wow, all this stuff happening, you know what I mean? Blah, blah. Afterwards, they have a couple buses to take you to Crazy Horse 2, I think it was at the time. Yeah. Crazy Horse 2, I think.
Now they got a Crazy Horse 3. But yeah.
So I've been to strip clubs before. I've been like in Queens and stuff when I was like 18 going to school.
It's not like
it's
a
not
Vegas
the
thing.
same.
Okay. I had not been to strip clubs before. We get there, dog. All the DJs that have come in, they have them out there, free drinks, everything, the whole open bar, all that stuff. So imagine me like just wilding. You understand? Everybody leaves. Everybody leaves. I'm there by myself till 9 a.m. in the morning. Okay.
Yeah.
I go outside. The interview with 50 Cent is at noon. I go outside and I'm like, oh my, what have I done? You know what I mean?
Oh shit!
Go back to the hotel.
He said, "What have I done?"
Honestly, I'm thinking that.
You didn't even explain what happened that night.
Right?
Basically, what have I done? That's all I gotta say, man. It was bad. I go back to the hotel. I'm like, you know what? It's only a couple. Let me just stay up and get ready. I end up falling asleep in my clothes on the bed. I missed the whole interview.
Oh shit!
And just hitting me, calling my room. Nothing. Finally gets my room. Yo, She calls me after the interview was over. Luckily, I was mad lucky. They had a extra recorder there that she was able to use. She got the interview. But she'll never let me live that down.
Damn, you put my girl in that situation, my guy?
Yeah, man.
That wasn't your girl.
That's my girl.
I'll never be your girl.
Shouts to Angela Yee.
That's your girl. Like Sway
girl.
is never.
Sway, yeah. Something like
and at least I met Sway.
Fuck off.
I know Angela hasn't even met her.
I know, right?
Wait till she meets me.
She ain't gonna make you feel special either, man.
She looks very nice.
Nah, she's nice. She's nice. But yeah, she might not make you feel special like the way Sway does, though. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, that's what I thought. That was my feelings about Vegas from that point forward. Like,
did you get in trouble or did it?
Nah, because Angie covered for me.
Back.
Yeah, she was dope like that. Yeah, but yeah, she'll never let me
mad
live
if
that
she was
down.
like fucking with
She
you?
was mad.
She was
mad a little bit, but then so completely messing with me. Like I had to go look at my bank account with her afterwards. We went to go to the ATM together to go look at my bank account.
How much is missing?
What was the damage?
It wasn't bad. It was like
over G.
No, 500 something like
That's
that.
nothing,
But that was a lot for me.
Yeah.
That's a Tuesday for cricket, bro.
Are you crazy?
I got a better story when I first moved out here.
Oh, go ahead. Because I want to know I don't know, because coming from New York, this is a different place. I want to know how y'all fit in out here. What did you do?
All right, when I first the first day I moved out here, I had enough money to like pay for my my rent, like 2 months and the month rent and the
deposit.
Yeah.
Deposit. The night before I went to the.
Well, you had cash?
So you had enough for those two things?
No, it was money in the ATM. So I went to it wasn't around. I went to Crazy Horse.
Okay.
I spent
Crazy Horse one.
Spent all that money at the Crazy Horse.
In one night?
It was like maybe $1,700.
Oh, I know what you were doing.
Damn, rent was cheap back then.
God damn it. That was like
1,700? What is that?
Yeah.
875?
Yeah.
850.
875.
It could have been a little bit more, but it was something like that. And I had that because I still had
What
checks.
the fuck were you living in? It must have
Yo,
it was still like a 1-bedroom. It was kind of nice.
No, he was a studio.
It was a studio?
No, a 1-bedroom.
Was it one?
It was a 1-bedroom.
Yo, that's crazy.
For 850, you know.
Yeah.
That's you a long way.
875, 1750.
Yeah.
Rent was cheap back then.
No, the
right?
rent is still
Out
cheap.
here.
Yeah.
It's going up because of the Raiders, though.
You
The
know,
Raiders are coming to Vegas.
you know who helped me out?
Who?
Eddie.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. He helped you waste the money or he helped you get the money?
Both.
Wait, you got you a couple gigs or something? Or
No. He just lent me some money because I knew I had money coming in, but at the time I was just like, I had just made the transition from New York to Vegas, so I spent a lot of money with the traveling and all this shit. It was just like, oh.
Why is it at the strip clubs out here that it's so? I mean, I know the casinos they don't put clocks and they don't put windows out there. Same thing as the strip clubs, but why does it go so quick and why is it so like you stay so long compared to like any other city?
Shit,
It's a mixture. Maybe the alcohol.
They keep playing a 2-for-1 dance.
The girls keep coming up.
I've never been in a spot in Vegas for a 2-for-1
Two for
dance.
what? Me either.
Never.
That's
I have
wild.
been.
That's some like Queens shit.
No,
that's some
that's
shit
like-
you get in Queens.
No,
or
let me
something
tell you
like
what-
that.
C team and D team. I guess are at that
let me
time.
tell you what Little Darlings is about. You get 2-for-1 dances
It's like
over there.
18 and over, right?
Yes.
I can't do that.
Nah.
That's when I was younger. Let me live.
2-for-1 dance.
2-for-1 dance. The little blue light comes on. Oh, it's on.
So
I didn't even know about that.
Do y'all have relationships out here?
Nah, you getting
No.
deep, huh? Paul.
Yeah.
Like girlfriend? No.
No, I want you guys to sell me on Vegas, honestly. 'cause
I will be
Don't
honest.
move here.
Okay, thank you.
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
The first time I moved out here, I don't know if I told the story before.
Here we go.
First time I moved out here, all I would do is I would just hang out with Neva and Eddie, and it would just be me and Neva. And I don't know, for some reason, I was not into the shorties out here because like when you're from New York, you get accustomed to,
What kind of girls did you date in New York? Like,
I mean, I dated all kinds of girls,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like just having a conversation with a girl was very different from like
yeah.
conversing with some of the chicks I would meet here in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would hang out with them and shit, but I was never like, yo, they cool, like we could hang out and stuff like that. But it was just like, yo, I was not into them. So there was a good 6 months where I was just like, I was cool with like the female bartenders, some of the waitresses. Some of them would bring me food at my gigs, like out of nowhere,
Some
and I
chicken
was just,
fingers?
and then I just wouldn't hit them up, and then the word was that like I was gay, and then me and me, yo, hear this, yo, listen to this, it's crazy. The word was that I was gay.
oh my god!
And me and Neva were fucking.
Oh my gosh, yo! Did anybody ever say this to your face?
That was just a rumor, though.
I was at the pool and Never was DJing, or someone was DJing, and then these bartenders come up and they're just like, "Oh, what's up?" And they started unbuttoning my shirt, and I was just like, "What the fuck, y'all? Why y'all treat me like I'm a tourist?" You know what I mean? Like, I always told these motherfuckers, like, I don't like these fucking chicks coming up to me like, we in the industry, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't be coming up to me like treating me like how you treat, like, doing this, like, these, like, kind of like flirtation, these things that work on like some dude from Delaware. No offense.
I feel the same way about strippers. I always want to just talk to them.
Yeah, don't play me. Don't play me out like that. And then like, yo, we work together. They're like unbuttoning my, like, woo, and I'm like, yo, chill out, like, relax, like, we, you know, like, I'm chilling. And then one of the chicks was like, "Oh my God, you are gay." And I was like, "What?
And you're gay too?"
And that's when I was like, "Yo, like, what do you mean I'm gay?" Like,
me motherfucking never slaying and shit, and you're over here being the gay one.
I started like checking my hands, like, "Yo, am I moving my hands weird or some shit?"
The flick of the wrist.
Is that the immediate signs? Is the hands?
I was looking at, like, I had a glass and I was like, I had a drink. I was like, "Yo, am I holding this weird?" Like,
your pinky sticking out.
Why am I drinking a margarita like this?
But it was weird because it's like, yo, man, I'm just like, I was not into that shit.
Did you go extra hard, pause, after that? Like,
slaying the bitches?
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, but it's like, yo, the thing is, we would go to like Rhino or the strip clubs, and then there would be like those real street or like urban chicks there. So you would meet like a Puerto Rican or Dominican chick there that wouldn't be able to work. Yeah. So then you could like relate. I don't know about the hood, but like, I'm not trying
hood, but like from the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like,
but like you would just find like those like around the way chicks at the strip club, and I think they were way different then than the strippers are now. Because they were just kind of like, yo, we doing this for money, but like once we leave this shit, like we want to turn this shit off. So they were always looking for like a good dude to hang with. You know what I'm saying? So like when I first moved out here, I actually dated a lot of strippers.
Shouts to the strippers.
Because it was like, yo, you found like a real one. Like they were, I mean, obviously they were dancing and shit, but it was like they were real.
I'm not gonna lie, I fell in love in the strip club a few times.
And that's the one thing that I never really, and at the time the nightclub industry was a little off because a cocktail waitress, right, didn't necessarily turn that shit off after the nightclub.
You think they would talk to you like they would just act like that around you?
Because they were there to solicit bottles, right? And they would be they would kind of like at the time the management companies were using the cocktail waitresses to also host big clients. So like if there was an off, like if it was a Tuesday or Wednesday and the club wasn't open, but the owners were and the managers of the clubs were like, "Yo, we got a big dinner with these high rollers. Y'all need to come out. And y'all need to like eat dinner with these dudes," and they couldn't turn it off. So I think after a while they just couldn't turn that shit off. Sometimes
even like after the shift, after they work the shift, a manager would be like, "Yo, so and so client, they want you to take them out. They want to take you out after you get off of work, so they have to do that."
That's
even
crazy.
if they didn't want to do it, they
or
had
even
to do
hang
it.
out with them in their room, like go to their room and hang out with them.
Yeah.
Well,
God knows what else they had.
That's what I'm saying.
Were you trying to move out here or what? I
don't know.
No, but no, this was back then. This was like in 2005.
Yeah, it's not the same now, man.
No, it's not.
I don't think I could do it, man. Like maybe LA, I'm not even sure if I could do that. You know, I'm just too used to New York, man. Like I'm used to getting stuff at any time of the hour that I want to. I like seasons, you know what I mean? Like it's nice to visit.
But see, like New York, you go out, you meet a chick, right? She could be, she could work at a bank, she could be in finance, she could be in real estate, she could be in 20,000 different things.
She works at the bodega.
The more likely you meet a shorty out here, not to be judgmental about anything, but she's gonna be in like 95% of the time in the service industry.
Yeah,
she's either gonna be a bartender, a waitress,
a bottle girl.
She might do real estate. She might be a hostess. She's gonna be in a restaurant business. She's a
stripper.
She might work at a front desk. It's all service industry after a while. Do you know what I'm saying?
But they still connected to the industry somehow.
Girls, because all I knew from Vegas girls was like stuff I heard from like Shecky moving out here to like the game girls and all that stuff.
There's
like,
great girls there though. There's really good. I mean, I'm not trying to shit on like Vegas girls. There are hardworking girls. There's like single moms out there. They working their ass off. They're like some of the best fucking people and females that I've met out here. I mean, I dated like Yeah, I dated Vegas local girls. Like, yeah, for like a minute out here. They're all fucking. They're awesome, but there's just something about
those 85%.
Like I go back to New York. I mean, even when I go to LA, I go everywhere. There's just something about going to New York and just like, you know, just like rapping to like a New York chick. It's totally different, man.
Maybe they don't think that you eventually you're trying to get something out. I mean, they know you're trying to get something out of them, but like there's not an ulterior motive career-wise or something like that. Or maybe you don't think that they're trying to get something from you. I don't know.
Well, I'm fucking paranoid of women right now. I just don't trust them.
Oh yeah, even
especially after that Drake shit with
Pusha T.
Oh,
Pusha T was on Joe Budden's show. Did you hear this shit?
Yes, this morning.
He said that 40 is the person that it was the Samson and Delilah effect, folks. You cannot do your pillow talk,
but we all do though.
You tell if a girl you're just dating, maybe you're dating multiple women. Like a girl, you just go out, yo man, Sway did this crazy stuff on the show today, man. And you talk about like business. If it's your girlfriend that you live with or something like that, I could see it, but I can't. Casual conversation.
I think
if the pussy is that good.
Nah,
I don't even know if it's the level of the pussy. I just think sometimes it just comes out depending on
you feel comfortable and vulnerable.
Like, yo, honestly, if you smash a chick twice, right, and the second time, and then your phone is going off, and maybe there's something going, she's like, "What's wrong?"
And you're like,
you're gonna admit it. You're gonna be like,
and then she's like, "Yo, like," and then she
starts rubbing your head.
Yeah, she's doing that shit. So what are you gonna be like? What are you gonna be like? Nothing.
Yeah. Relax. Why are you worried about that? So never. You see who you're dealing with now. You watch out for those business decisions. You know what I'm saying?
I know now.
$1,700.
I talk shit about all y'all.
Like, yo, quick and say
Jamie, man, this motherfucker.
No, I'm saying I've done it before for sure.
I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. You lay down and you chilling, and just shit just comes out of your mouth. And sometimes I'll be like, "Did I just fucking say that?" I don't even know.
And they try to clean it up.
Yeah, you try to turn this shit around.
Yeah.
I said it usually that the whole conversation happens, the pillow talk happens before you get the pussy. Because after you get that nut, your mind kind of clears up.
You think a girl wants to have sex with you because you're down in the dumps, like Eeyore? Like you think that is attractive to them?
Nah,
no, you don't. No, you play it off until after, and then the real emotion starts coming out. That's what he's talking about. She'll ask you what's wrong.
No. I think I think sometimes like honestly,
because have you guys ever hit up a girl that you're not supposed to be hitting up, but you're horny and you're trying to get some, and then like you clear the nut out, and then you kind of. You clear your mind out too, and you're like, "Oh, what am I doing hitting?"
Yeah, but that's a totally different thing from pillow talk.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What you're talking about is just like,
because I feel vulnerable at that point. Like, yo, let's hang out. Come hang out.
Yeah, that's just when you're thinking with your dick.
You give up the secrets before you even smash. Though?
Nah, he's talking about that when what is that? Something about Mary when he had to jerk off before his date.
Oh yeah.
Because when you're not looking for ass,
that's when it comes to you.
Yeah. Well, no, that's when you can be yourself.
Yeah,
right?
That as well. Yeah.
I feel like pillow talking comes because you want. Like,
no. I don't think you've had like real pillow talk.
Nah, I usually be like, yo, you want to watch?
They kick you out.
I kick them out.
They're like, yo, yeah.
They come to the crib and they'll be like, yo, what are you watching?
The real story is how does
his mom knocks on the door like, yo, she can't stay, yo.
She got to leave.
He's like, damn, I missed out on pillow talk again.
I missed out on pillow talk again.
I can't wait to have pillow talk.
I cank wait.
Crooked had never been talking about it.
Seems wonderful.
And then he's gonna text us. He's gonna text us in the group chat like, "Yo, I finally had pillow talk. I know exactly what you mean. I told her everything."
Never be careful.
No,
never. If you see her at
I just want to know how does Pusha know this the girl that he was dating? Though?
Supposedly,
that's the real question.
The video that you said it was her. It looked like Malaya.
It was Malaya,
which is a stripper. From Houston.
I know every video girl since 2004. I know all of them, but I know who Malaya is.
Wait. Well, maybe you can explain this a little bit more because you're seeing the behind the scenes with the rappers and the celebrities.
We also Angela Yee and myself and Leah Rose, we also had a show called Lip Service, which she still does. We started it as a separate show on Shade 45.
Yeah.
And that was all video girls and like rappers coming up talking about sex and stuff or whatever. But I was more interested in the video girls. I would book a lot of them King Magazine girls and stuff like that.
Oh so man, King Magazine, remember?
Yeah. I was into I knew all of the names, bro. Like I knew all of them.
There was Gloria Velez, there was
Vita Guerra.
Melissa Ford
was the big one. Didn't she get into like a car accident or some shit?
Recently. Yeah. I hope she thinks she's doing better now. Yeah.
Who was the last one on King?
What do you mean the last?
The last like
didn't Gabriel Union?
What's the name?
A bunch of celebrities.
Buffy the Body.
Buffy the Body was the one that King Los ended up marrying. Angel Lola Love was the first one I saw with the
Rosa Acosta
injected joint. Rosa, yeah.
Tahiri.
That was later on.
Hey, so my thing is behind the scenes, right?
Right.
They bring shorties with them.
No. I'm trying to find a better way of saying this. Every like the same girls get around to all the same dudes, no?
Definitely now, and because
not back then.
Now there's back then as well, but now there's even less with a name. You know, because girls will do mad stuff for free, like videos and stuff. There's not really those like stars like there were back then, but because it was like
because now they're Instagram stars.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's just how it is. I think people are more comfortable like being with people that they know the lifestyle already. I don't get it. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be with the same person that this DJ's been with or whoever. Like this is a DJ's ex-girlfriend or whatever. Like I'm not. That's not cool.
One great statement I heard, it was they're groupies for groupies.
Yeah.
That's why they're always around.
Yeah.
So if he's with a hot chick and then he gets rid of her, then I'm trying to be the groupie for her. So they're groupies for the groupies. That's why there's the same girls being cycled.
Nah. That is completely true, but I would never want to be in that circle, man.
That's you though. These rappers is for stunting. Yo, I got your ex bitch.
And it's easier. It's like the reason they go to like Gucci store because it's like ready made. They don't put their outfits together. It's like ready. Those are ready made women. Like you got a name attached. You're good to go. It's like an accessory basically.
Yeah, but I think dudes are groupies for groupies.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
it's bragging rights too.
I think motherfuckers just catch feelings.
Why for the same exact girls though?
Because the chick is making them feel like they just smashed it. They were the
trophy.
best.
It's a trophy.
You don't think that they're approaching them, the girl that they saw somebody else with? You think it's the girl coming?
So I'll put it this way: let's say Neva and Jamie are two like successful rappers. Maybe they're the top 3 in the game, right? This motherfucker's fucking with one of those chicks. Jamie's like, yo, I got more money than Neva. I could definitely bang. I got more hits. I could definitely take his chick.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it becomes.
And so it's a status. It's a status.
The status is like, yo, I just smashed his shorty.
I just felt like a rapper.
That would never happen, Joe James. Not in your lifetime.
I was like, yeah, I took your bitch, Never. Now what?
I be hearing about that shit like a lot, and it's one of the biggest problems with the whole industry is like why these motherfuckers end up having beef. Because one dude end up smashing like another dude's chick. There's literally one dude that I know that I don't really know that well, but he was kind of drunk and he confided to my boy and he told me,
pillow talk. Pillow talk amongst DJs.
No. It was more like shocking, but this dude was basically like a celebrity DJ. All right?
Mm-hmm. Facts.
And he would be around fashion models. Mm-hmm. And his thing was like, yo, it's hard for me to wife up or to date a fashion model that haven't smashed Russell or these like 3 icon dudes. Like all of them have smashed Diddy, Russell Simmons, and somebody else. Mm-hmm. So like it's impossible to meet and wife up a chick because it's like, yo, you're getting the sloppy seconds or sloppy thirds from these core dudes.
I think I know who you're talking about because he would be really close to that situation if it's who I'm thinking. But either way, why would you want to do that's how these dudes become this whole generation.
No, but what I'm saying is that's your circle. Like if that, like honestly, like when I had New, right? Yeah. I was in the streetwear circle, and I'm not saying that there were girls that went around, but they were just like those chicks that were like, yo man, that shorty's bad. And whoever bagged that dude, bagged that chick was like, yo, he bagged her. And then another dude was like, "Fuck that, I'm gonna try to bag that."
That's
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the correlation between music, streetwear, fashion, everything now, and that's why we're in such a fruitatious generation. Is because dudes don't do it for girls anymore. The way everything was for a woman, no matter what, whether it's getting money, getting whatever power. So now it's to impress other dudes. Whether it's I got the newest Nikes, I got my outfit. Girls don't know like throwback shirts that I wear and stuff like that. Like I do it sometimes to impress dudes. I guess it's weird to say, but that's what people do. And maybe they're doing this, like you said, same thing with girls. Like, oh, he can pull that kind of girl. Like it's a status symbol when you walk in a room. I guess I don't know.
Because didn't Dame and Jay-Z fight over Aaliyah?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Could say that one day.
I mean, I'm over here like I was there.
I was in the offices.
I've heard a bunch of shit about like Rihanna just being like, but I don't think she's like a hoe. I just think she's not to be sexist, but she just kind of moves like a dude.
Like a dude, yeah.
She just moves like a dude. Like, I'm feeling you. Like, let's fuck.
And then
then keep it moving. The dude's probably like, yo, man.
Another example.
You want to meet up? Let's go to Miami. She's like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm recording with Kanye now.
Yo, that would devastate
and then boom.
me. It would be.
But that's what I'm saying.
You know how bad that would be if you were to be on that end of that. Like as thinking a girl is gonna be your girl. And would
you be mad at the chick or be mad at the dude that kind of
that ruined your chances?
Stole it from you. You know what I mean?
I would have animosity towards it.
Exactly, both. A little bit of both, but more towards the guy.
Yeah. That sucks.
Another example is like Rihanna with Chris Brown and Drake. They was fighting in clubs over her.
Throwing bottles.
Whip. Did you guys ever play Whip?
Yeah. Oh.
Huh?
Did you ever play Whip, the club they were at?
Nah.
I thought they were in the green room.
Bottom of Greenhouse. It was called Work in Progress.
Yeah.
That was a dope space.
I've been there, but I never played there before.
And that was a crazy night.
Were you
there?
No, I wasn't there.
What's his name? Scram Jones does downstairs.
Yeah,
he did downstairs at that time. Yeah. I think he was there.
Oh yeah,
Scram,
yeah. I think he was there.
Tony,
I didn't know it was at Whip. I thought it was upstairs at Greenhouse.
Nah, it was in
the basement.
That shit is small. Pause.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as the first floor Greenhouse or the one floor Greenhouse. It's all the same width, but they had like sculptures and stuff in the middle, so it was kind of like separate. It wasn't just an open room.
See, I thought downstairs was more like a tunnel.
Nah.
It looked like a room.
A little bit.
They had a giant sculpture.
Greenhouse was definitely bigger upstairs though.
Well, they had 2 floors as well. So, it's the same width. It's literally the basement of Greenhouse. It was same size.
But it was definitely smaller. I remember. It was
I think because it's underground, maybe you're feeling more claustrophobic. The ceiling or something.
I feel like it was the same size as the upstairs.
Shit, man. That was a big deal though.
Yeah, the bottles were flying.
Real quick, your favorite party that you ever used to go to of all time?
In New York?
Yeah. I don't want to alienate any listeners, but
I feel like West Coast listeners hate it when we have.
I know.
You fucking alienate me.
Sorry.
I'm like,
I'll tell you mine. It was Central Fly Basement when Stretch Armstrong and Mark Ronson.
That was amazing.
Residents. I'll never go to a party like that again. Mad fun, yo.
Mine was I don't know if he was in New York at the time. Sweet Thing.
What
the
spot?
old Rehab, and then turned into Sweet 16.
Sweet 16. Okay.
Before that, it was Rehab. And there's a party called Sweet Thing with Mark Ronson.
Yeah.
Used to DJ. That was one of the best hip hop parties in New York at the time.
Central Fly was dope. I think there was so many dope parties at Lotus. Man.
Lotus Wednesdays and Sundays, like on Sundays when it was like a holiday weekend, was always next level.
Lotus was just insane, man. Yeah. It was just.
It's crazy. I didn't know you guys like back then. Well, you might have moved out here before I started going out.
Yeah.
But I like all the Turntable Lab guys, like Rock the Con, all the they were kind of, I don't know, you were in that as well. It was kind of like unreachable to like I think normal DJs. Like it kind of like a little snobbish, like with the knowledge. Maybe it was just Turntable Lab in general. It was kind of like I looked up to you guys and like the spots that you did, but I never really did a lot of like stereo or like these bottle service joints. I did like little hood joints, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I would have liked to go to more of the parties that you guys were doing back then.
Have you been to like Everyday People?
MoMA's party? Yeah, I played there before. He hasn't booked me lately, MoMA. But I still go and support your parties, but you haven't booked me lately.
Yeah, MoMA's he's like a low-key superstar, man.
Yeah, he is.
You love his stuff. I hear you talking about all like you love.
They're like best friends, bro.
The crowd that he pulls and the energy and everything.
I think that's the best party
Have you been
hands
to?
down.
Okay.
I don't even want. It sounds corny if I say it's the best party in like nightclub history or whatever.
That's Jamie doing that, by the way, not me.
Jamie. I mean, honestly, Jamie's never been there, and he's never experienced it.
I've never been there.
Yeah.
Everyday people.
The energy is awesome. But
have you ever experienced anything like that in any other club? Yeah.
I'm the people from Washington Heights, Brunch Bound stuff, and the like Pizza Zoo and stuff. I do parties with them sometimes as well, and it's all Dominican girls and stuff like that. So maybe that's why I'm like more drawn towards it. But
I'm not mad at Dominican girls, man.
Never.
That was another thing. You could not find a Dominican girl in Las Vegas.
Oh nah, man.
They're plentiful. They're plentiful now out here.
Yeah, now they're running amok.
There's a lot of Cubans out here.
There's a lot of Cubans, Puerto Ricans, and Dominicans for some reason.
Yeah.
Puerto Ricans is still a odd thing to find on the West Coast, though.
In LA, it's weird.
Yeah,
LA, I was like, "You're Puerto Rican? What are you doing here?"
Why is that?
Because there's none.
There's
it's all
none.
Mexicans.
There's like a bunch of Mexicans in LA.
Salvadorians from Honduras.
There's not many Dominicans either.
No Dominicans.
No Dominicans.
All my Puerto Rican friends that I do have are from the East Coast. None of them from LA. Everybody moved to LA, but now in Vegas, there's a muck of Dominicans running out here, guys. Fucking beautiful creatures they are.
Yo, and are there any? There's no. I know that Zimmy, I think, had talked to you guys about trying to start like some kind of night out here for like, I don't know if it was for locals or just something off the strip. Is there any kind of like cool parties out here now?
Only in downtown, bro.
I mean, but Beauty Bar or something like that?
Down Commonwealth and Beauty Bar are probably the
There's
ones.
a scene down there.
Yeah.
It's fucking dope. You can play. I'm actually playing something there on Saturday. It's like a 90s, 2000 kind
I
of.
like how Jamie's promoting his gig.
Whatever Saturday this is you're listening to, folks, he'll be there.
This past Saturday.
Speaking of promo, you have that promo for we got to do the DJ City commercial break right now.
DJ Wonder, can you put on your radio voice?
You want me to do this?
Yeah.
Shout out to Latin Prince and the fellows over at DJ City. No, okay, let's see.
I thought I was going to be the one.
Here we go. Let's see. This episode of the R.O.A.D podcast is brought to you by DJ City. Did you guys know that DJ City is the world's leading record pool, delivering music to thousands of DJs across the globe? That's thousands.
Wow.
Check this out. For less than $1 a day, you can download exclusive edits.
Wait, how much
remixes.
was that? How much was
less
that?
than $1 a day.
Less than $1?
Less than it costs to feed someone in Somalia. You
I'm about to say that.
You can
Damn,
get your exclusive edits, remixes, intros, and other tools to spice up your sets in case you need a little spice in your life.
Yeah.
Wait, can you do a Sway
We
imitation?
all could use a little spice.
No, I will not. Sway does not like it when I do it.
We gotta hear a little bit.
Nah, I don't like it because it.
Wait, let him finish that.
No.
I think I could do a Sway imitation.
Go ahead. You want to try? You want to try to realign it?
Let me think about how I can control my voice.
All right. Well, like I said, less than $1 a day, you get all that great stuff, and also their library is updated daily with music direct from the label, so you don't have to play these whack bit rates. Customized recommendations, curated charts to help you stay up to date. You can get your Latin stuff. You can get your London chart on DJ City.
Can we get Metal Trap on there?
I'm actually in
Slayer remixes?
I'm in talks to actually put my chart up there, guys.
Nice.
So you will see that Metal Slayer Trap.
And that Halloween podcast.
Year round. You're gonna see that all the Halloween hits. Here comes another one. And then whether you need the latest hip hop, EDM, Latin music, DJ City has you covered. Head to djcity.com/digital for more info.
Nice.
Clap it up for one.
That was the best one so far.
Because this motherfucker's on radio. It has like 10 years of radio.
People will give you stuff at the last minute. You gotta read it, whatever. But yeah, man.
I was definitely the fucking radio voice.
Yeah.
You have to talk to them though. You can't put on a radio voice. You gotta talk to people, man. People don't want to hear that cornball voice. They want to talk to a person.
Who's that dude on Power 106?
Which one?
Jay Cruz?
Yeah, Jay Cruz in the morning.
I feel like he has a radio voice sometimes.
No, yeah,
a little bit.
I never listened to a full one. I've seen some of his interviews online. I never listened to one of his full
Lecheto
shows.
is a fucking.
What would be your radio voice? Would you be animated? Like if you were DJing?
I think that's a lot of LA DJs
I would
kind of animated.
But like enough, he'd be spinning. He'd be like in the middle of spinning. He'd be like, New York City, it's on. We ain't messing around tonight. Blah blah blah.
I mean, when you DJ, you gotta be a little bit more animated. But you talking about radio?
Yeah, I'm saying.
That's on the radio.
Radio. I think I'd be more normal. Like
while you're spinning and it's like MOPs in the background.
Nah, I definitely put my R&B.
Yeah, you listen to DJ Never.
You don't have to scream though. And
94.5.
maybe that's what Never's saying. Like you can still be hype about a record. Like brand new, 6ix9ine, stupid. You know what I'm saying, or something like that. You could talk it out, but you don't have to be like You know what I mean? Like Ultimate Warrior stuff.
I'll definitely go R&B late night. Listen, 95.6.
No, I'm trying to think what my radio voice would be while I'm spinning though.
I'm definitely going with the radio 90s R&B.
What is it when you guys do club? I know you got to do mic work out here, but how do you speak to the crowd?
I mean, it's different. It's I mean, it's
definitely different to each crowd or different from
different
radio?
to each crowd.
Okay.
Yeah, like if it's
speaking Spanish sometimes, bro.
But it's like a New like it's definitely like a New York style on the mic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I feel like the West Coast guys have more of a vibey mic shit, where it's more
what do they say?
They're just more like.
What are the phrases? I don't even know the phrases anymore that you can use. Like besides like your best friend.
I don't know if New York like I don't know if New York like I don't know if New York motherfuckers say put your hands up. I think like West Coast motherfuckers always say
put your fucking hands up.
Yeah, they like West Coast. They do that. West Coast dudes on the mic say like put your hands up.
Do you guys count into drops and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
No, it's cool. What else can you say? Honestly, I don't know what phrases. Like I would love to ask Scoop about that. What would you say in 2018? What are your updated phrases that you say 4 times in a row?
If you're having a good time, make some motherfucking noise
right now. The song starts now.
What are the current terms like drip for an outfit or like what do you use like current terms like in your
poppin',
chants?
Turn up?
That's old.
It's still kind of working. If you with your best friend, turn up.
Is that what you say on the mic?
Nah, I make fun of people.
That's fun.
I make a lot.
I like
that. She ain't going with you, homie.
Exactly.
I'm dropping fucking like lines.
If people aren't dancing, like this guy right here.
I see you over there, baby girl. Put it back up.
Oh my god.
That's how you holler. That's how you holler.
And then she's like, "Oh
that's
my
kind of
God.
bad, man." Baby girl.
No, it works out. It works out.
That's how you rap in LA, like that. Out here.
I see you out there, baby girl.
Have you guys heard a party record in 2018?
What?
A party, like a.
Hey, don't start controlling our podcast with all these questions.
I'm just asking you. Seriously, I just asking.
Trying to take over control.
And what's like a turn down for what? Or
something with like a chant over a new beat or something like that. Is there anything like that anymore?
Nah, last ones was like LMFAO, Lil Jon kind of shit. I can't think of one recently.
What would you put it over?
You still playing Be Faithful?
2014.
I mean, what are you guys talking about? Turn down for what?
Turn down for what? Like those chanty records. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Party records.
But nobody's putting on like Little Uzi beat and saying all the girls in here have $20 in their pocket or something like that in this day and age, right?
No, I don't.
Nope. All right, guess what I'm going to do when I go home? All right.
Here comes a new Slayer drop.
That's right.
With the chant.
What all the ladies want to hear.
I just think a lot of new music doesn't translate into the nightclubs right now.
Mm-hmm. I hear you say that over and over that this is one of the worst years or summers for music. I don't know. Did you still feel that way?
Yeah, definitely.
Doing the past few albums that have come out?
Oh, definitely. Like, I definitely think so. I think this is a turning point.
He's talking on a DJ.
For playing out.
Yes. He's not talking about.
I think music as a whole.
Not for listening. Overall, you think it's bad?
Yeah. I think so.
I don't think it's bad. I think for DJ,
you don't think it's bad?
No, those great albums that came out.
It's bad for playing out for real. How many joints do I pull from each album that I could actually play in a club? Maybe like 4 at the most. Less than that. Maybe
that's a lot.
Drake is 4.
Drake is 4.
But everything else is one joint. You know what I mean?
You're not pulling shit like that for Logic's album, Mac Miller's album.
You know what I think, and this may be. You might be right. This might not be the worst summer or year for music, or it could be
for DJ music. Yes.
But for the level of content
that's coming
out, it seems
could be
like
better.
It's the worst. Just because there's so much coming out, and then out of all of that, from what we're picking from, there's like nothing. You know what I mean?
We've never seen a race to put out material the way it is now. But it had always been like that. Like, oh man, even back in the 90s, this person's gonna drop on my same Tuesday. You know what I mean? And they would be pissed. But now you drop anytime you want. You can drop as much as you want. Music videos with merch with all of your stuff, and you're just trying to outdo the next person rather than there's no buffer for the making quality music.
I honestly feel the reason why music was such an ass for the summer was because of Kanye. I think he fucked up the way people were gonna roll out for summer.
I think it would have happened regardless.
I think Drake was gonna come out with at least another good single that was gonna kind of run the summer circuit, but him dropping all that music and fucking up everybody, from J. Cole dropping early to
But there wasn't one single from any of the Kanye albums.
But it kind of like it took that 5 week.
But the J. Cole dropped
like
before
hype.
That.
Here's the funny thing, though, right? Everything is reactive right now. No one's doing shit and dropping something and saying, this is my project. It's all reactive to what's going on right now, right? So, like, for example, you just mentioned, did everyone see The Shop on HBO with Drake and LeBron?
Yeah. I saw clips.
I saw the clips.
I don't know if I can sit through the whole thing.
It was only 8 minutes. 8 minutes of 30 minutes.
So I feel like...
But I'm saying is that Drake's album wouldn't be what it is right now if Kanye didn't fuck with him. He wouldn't have some of the key songs that he has right now.
You think he did? It was a better thing that he messed with him.
Fuck yeah, Mob Ties, Nonstop.
Would they have
8 out of 10?
In my feelings.
Because he recorded them after
the whole beef shit.
Okay.
Yeah. So my thing is like, that album wouldn't be where it is right now if he didn't have those songs. Would it?
It would have been.
He probably. You don't know. Well, we don't know because whatever he pulled out of it. Whatever he took out of it was probably better.
I don't think he took anything out of it. I don't know if it was meant to be a side A, side B until that happened.
No, I think so.
You think so?
I think it was a large album. I don't know.
They were banking on that Michael Jackson single, and that was one of the worst songs on the album.
I don't think the worst.
I liked it.
Really?
Yeah. I never played it out, but I thought it was. It
didn't sound like Michael.
It's
That's
nostalgic.
Why I like it,
you know what I mean?
Can't Take a Joke was one like. It was like whatever song I could live without that. That birthday song one.
There was a bunch of shit that I could live without. But
as time goes.
But this is how reactive everything is, right? Scorpion wouldn't have been anything without Kanye, right? Kanye's rollout wouldn't have been any.
I think it would have been something. It's Drake, bro.
Yeah.
Come on. Drake is a way bigger artist than Kanye at this point.
Okay, but we're still here, and the biggest songs were the ones that were affected by Kanye. So whatever you guys want to say and speculate on, the fact of the matter is those songs that made the album great were because of Kanye.
Well, we would never know unless we know what got pulled out.
Well, that's what I'm telling you a fact right now is that the songs on the album that was good.
God's Plan was already out before that shit was
right. That was a great song.
The other one. That's what was out before the Drake beef.
I'm upset. Kind of happened a little after.
That was after. Yeah. The video definitely was after.
Yeah, a few weeks later.
He would have. I think he would have just focused his energy on songs that we think are like throwaways. Now it would have been pushed up to the front.
Regardless, the songs that are on there are reactive to what has happened with Kanye. Mm-hmm. Kanye was reactive to Drake on his rollout and what he did with his album. Everything is just reactive to everything right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I just think everything is too much based on social media. And just like, what are you doing? What is he doing? What are they doing? What are they, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's some of the problems of why the music that's coming out is that we're seeing too much of what other people are making, and it's affecting how we're making our music or their music. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you drop, let's say you were in the studio holed up for a month, and you're like, yo, I just made some fire. I just made some fucking fire. Mm-hmm. And then you just go on social media and you see like 4 of the rappers with fire, and you're like, fuck, I gotta go back. I gotta change some shit, or I gotta do this or that. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying everything makes you second guess. You can't just go with.
It's not even it's second guess. Like the whole album is second guess. Like what do you think? Like Life of Pablo with Kanye, right? That was a mess.
Yeah,
everything was second guessing with Kanye. It was like, yo, no, this is the lineup. No, this is the lineup, and it's just all about how can I get the reaction from the crowd. Like, yo, this whole thing of like showing your track list and shit for your album. What the fuck is that? Like, what? Who the fuck cares? That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. When did that start? With Kanye?
Maybe for the features, I guess. But a lot of people put it up and it's just song titles.
Yeah.
Like,
that definitely started with Kanye, right?
Nah, they were doing that when rap blogs were popular.
Is that what it was?
They would put out the cover art or whatever before they dropped anything.
Dude, that means nothing to me. Like the Yachty album that he's posting has like all of these, like has Cardi B on it, has like my Migos.
I think in the Watch the Throne when they put up the track list and you're like, oh shit, Frank Ocean's on here. So I think it goes all the way back to that.
I think it before that, man. I'm trying to think.
But that was the hype. I just remember that was like the hype of the hype.
I don't know
for a track list. Yeah,
I think like you really gotta like just unplug and just like come up with your message, come up with the direction, execute it, and then drop it. And then I just think with social media, it's crazy. I mean, look at that.
I think Travis Scott did that with his last album, Astroland.
When he didn't put no features, I think that was stupid as fuck. I was like, okay. And then you'd be like, oh, Frank Ocean's on this. And then Frank Ocean's like, yo.
I didn't even know Sheck West was on like a song. I didn't even know.
They don't have to credit a lot of people anymore. Or I
didn't even know The Weeknd was on there.
I didn't know Sway Lee was on Sicko Mode.
Because they're not credited on there. On the actual
they didn't
song listing.
They put Drake. They didn't put him on the track listing either. So.
Well, on the iTunes, they didn't.
That started with Kanye, I believe, like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, when he had like songs with like 8 people doing background vocals that you wouldn't even know about. You know what I mean? Like
All of the Lights.
Yeah, exactly.
That shit had everybody.
Yeah.
Elton John, Fergie.
Yeah.
Shit.
Elton John.
John Legend.
Yeah, Elton John was Elton John was on there.
Oh, Elton John was in there?
Yeah,
for real.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, I think John Legend.
John Legend.
I mean, how do you feel? How do you feel about the music
now?
This year?
Are
you in disagreement with me?
No way. I don't know if it's the worst year because I can't really call that, but it's not been exciting to me. Like it's not fun to play out. A lot of times, it's almost my least favorite era was that 2008 2009 like when Timberland went to the up-tempo stuff and like
when like EDM was popping.
Yeah, like when it was a beginning to pop.
Yeah, it was Sexy Back.
Yeah, like all that kind of stuff. Like
Nelly Furtado.
I remember playing clubs at that time and it was just that was not fun at all for me.
That was the worst era to you?
I loved the energy of it, but I did not like the songs. I thought it was corny. Like I was just waiting to get to my like old school set at the end of the night. I don't even remember what we played back then. But you like it now because it's nostalgic, and you probably grew up at the time when that was like your middle school stuff or whatever.
No, that was my high school senior year.
Okay.
You know what? That Carrie Hilson, what was that one?
The Way I Are?
The Way I Are.
Fucking incredible record.
That aged pretty well.
That's just amazing.
Like, have you dropped that recently?
You guys still play that?
I haven't played that in a minute.
Yeah. That shit hits right now. So if you need like a 110 to throw in the mix, that shit kind of hits a little bit.
Yeah, it's a 115 thing.
Yeah, 110, 115.
Fight You is one of my favorite records. No, that's what I'm saying. I love that era. I don't know. That shit was amazing.
But I just think now it's.
But it was corny around that time.
You can't.
You think that was worse than the LMFAO era?
I like the LMF. Yo, dog. I
love
LMFAO era.
I hated that era.
I love that era.
I loved that fucking era.
I loved partying at that time. I loved going to Winter Music Conference down in Miami, and they were down there, and it was
that was my college.
It was
era.
A mix of like real EDM dudes and like these like weirdo
Disco
guys
shit,
or whatever.
yeah.
Like it was a cool like vibe, and like even
that was
like
a cool vibe
at the time because it was.
It was.
You looking back at it now, you might think it looks corny or whatever, but
looking back on it now, when it was happening, I was like,
I'm looking at
nah. It was something about. It was like Vegas, man, but it was like
Miami shit. It was dope. I liked it.
I just hated it because me ain't being a hip hop DJ. It was like the clubs in Vegas wasn't booking hip hop DJs during that era because they wanted. That was like the beginning of EDM. That up tempo shit. It was just like
it was accessible electro, like what they were doing at like Banana Split or whatever. Like what AM was starting to get into. Like it was accessible to the public. So it wasn't the best. It was corny, but it was cool because it wasn't just what we had been a decade through that type of music. It was something a little different. It's before we got saturated with EDM. You have to remember as well. Like that wasn't popular. Like people would have to seek that stuff out.
See, I didn't mind EDM. Like I didn't mind Avicii. I didn't mind all of that stuff. I thought LMFAO was like a bad version of was like a really bad interpretation, and it was these dudes who were just taking advantage of like what they thought was popping and like literally exploiting it.
But it wasn't. That's why. It wasn't popping until they really did it. There wasn't that many groups. Maybe like what was the Asian group that did G5 or whatever? Those guys, G6, whatever. Those guys.
Dude, that was a horrible time.
Far East movement.
That's what I'm saying. That was all bad, man.
Who was that dude? The Rudolph. I see the eye.
Kevin Rudolph.
This was horrible, bro. We had to play that.
Let it rock.
That was World.
That was a nightmare.
That was the worst.
Yo, you see, that's like towards the end of it when it was I'm in Miami, bitch, and shots and that shit was a cool.
When I'm in Miami, bitch was kind of dope.
When the
party
that
anthem was stupid. The shuffle dancing, all that shit.
Yeah. That okay?
Dude,
maybe
I'm sexy and I know it.
That was
after.
Yeah,
that was after.
I like the
I'm
fun
talking
shit.
I'm talking about that. That is the meat and potatoes.
You're talking about Party Rock Anthem. Okay, yeah, that time I was done with it.
I was over it.
But when they first did, like, I'm in Miami and they did, like, all the DJs, like, shouting them out on, like a grassroots video. They were on, like, MySpace and stuff, promoting their stuff. I thought it was cool. It was something different.
I love those guys.
It wasn't oversaturated at the time.
When they were not mainstream. When they were just, like, chilling in their basement.
Yeah, when they were cool. When we knew about them, man. Nobody else.
But then when it started getting into, like, the, what was that shit?
Party Rock
Anthem did it.
No. When the EDM with, like, Selfie.
Yeah.
Oh, that was after.
Well, that was after.
I know, but that's when it was just like that's when EDM was on its way. To me, I was just like, yo, this is
finally.
This is like
it's getting
going.
Yeah.
Any progressive 4 on the floor EDM, I cannot stomach, man. Like, it's not my thing at all. Like, you gotta have some kind of bounce to it. You gotta have some kind of, like, even like the Afrojack stuff was dope because he was doing different stuff at the time and he was using like real drums and stuff like that. That was dope. Any of that like synthetic, that era, man. And even the clubs, I would hate to come out here and like hear that stuff. Like, I can't imagine you guys having to compete with that DJing wise.
It was tough, man.
That was bad.
I mean, I think that it was alright. I mean,
I feel like I had a harder time, man.
What?
I don't know. You was with Scam at the time.
Oh, you mean just like
getting work when that era was going on? It was just like,
yeah. I mean, you had your.
I was working, but it was just like, it wasn't the same.
Yeah, a lot of people took a hit.
Yeah.
But Shots. It was a good anthem.
Shots was the last one, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the last one.
That was the last.
I'm in Miami, bitch. I forget all the ones on the album, but they even did that 808 Heartless fucking
they were doing. That's what they first started doing was remixes for like different songs, and that's why it was different. We looking at it now, man, but I don't know if we think back. It was really like some different stuff than what was going on in normal music at the time. But then it got oversaturated. You're right.
My question is that on Sway in the Morning, were you having to play some of that EDM?
I wasn't allowed to, but I'll get in trouble all the time for. I was only doing it on the station doing like. Management does not like. Even when you guys come up and you want to do a guest mix or whatever, I'll send you like a email that all my guest mixers know this. Like it says like kind of like what the guidelines are. One of them is like you cannot do Baltimore like tempo stuff for too long. Like you can't do like. They just want like 80% like hip hop. You know what I mean? You can throw in other stuff like samples, funk, all that other whatever, like feel good stuff, but they do not like EDM stuff on that channel. So. But I was still like, especially on my nighttime show, I was thinking nobody was listening, so I would just throw stuff in. But morning show, I would get called out a lot.
You know, it was crazy though when Hot 97, when like DJ Enough would drop some shit like that, right?
Yo, straight up.
Yeah.
And even when they got into like Jersey clubs, even though they're broadcasting the Jersey and it's big out there, like to hear that on the radio, I was thought, man, that's a little weird.
Yeah. I thought it was like. What did Enough play one time and I was like, "Fuck, what?" Is that
him
real?
and Camilo used to go on.
What's that song? That's I'm the shit or that's
Starships.
Oh, you're talking about DJ Class.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, I'm the shit.
No, that's kind of hip hop though.
That's got a hip. Baltimore has got the hip hop beat, but no, they used to play. I don't know if they did Levels. Like
they did play Levels, and I was like, "Yo,
oh, I never heard."
How 97 play Levels? That sounds crazy.
I think at the height they did play.
They were playing that, but like even recently, like some of the DJ Snake. Like, what you want? They would like play some of that shit, and I'd be like, this is weird.
It's not too bad, man. It's like,
that's when you know, like, yo, this shit is like crossing over.
So, back to your original question of, do I think it's the worst year or do I think it's bad? I don't think it's fun to play a lot of this stuff now. I thought Afrobeat might catch on, which is kind of fun to play. Like, I'm just waiting for the next wave of something that's like new and exciting, you know what I mean? I even almost like the 80 BPM stuff because at least it's not just the 70 like same old stuff.
Here's my take on this year. There's a lot of hype around certain songs, and a lot of people request certain songs, and they just don't perform.
They're duds.
So I like that's the one thing that like back in the day, motherfuckers would request songs, and even if we didn't like them. They worked.
And the reaction you would get
and the reaction worked. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But now it's like, yo, you play these new joints that are supposedly big songs, and they're not. There's no reaction. It's just not translating across the board.
You have to have a dance with it, basically, at this point, to know that it's gonna be proven.
Well, it's got to get like full level cheesy, to where like news shows on regular TV stations are like showing it, and then you're like, oh shit, that's something that's gonna translate to like and all
Instagram.
Across the room Vegas like room crowd.
And it has to be worthy for the gram too, for the stories and all that shit. That's what kids.
But I'm sure like that's what I'm saying. Like regional cities, like I think like New York, Miami, Chicago.
What's the top song you're playing out there that is giving you a big reaction?
Yo, before the song came out, I was playing the instrumental to. It wasn't called ZZ at the time. It was called what was it? It was a different title, but it was the Kodak Black and Travis and. You know the song I'm talking about?
They dropped the ball on that song.
That song, when the song came out, it's just like they wasted that beat, dog.
They dropped the ball on that song.
I played the instrumental, and people would go nuts. You go into like Taste or go into something at Temple, like Motto or something like that, like right after, and it's like, or I won't give you my super secret joint with some joints that go around it, but just the instrumental of a song could create that. And then you have Travis Scott, who's like undoubtedly maybe the most popular dude outside of Drake right now, gets on your song and you can't convert. It's kind of, I don't know.
It was horribly mixed.
Oh, that too. Everybody's the reverb on everybody's voice.
Yeah, that was the exact thing when I was listening to it. Everyone's vocals was mudding out the beat, and it wasn't like, that you know what song we're talking about, right?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I was disappointed also. I thought
they fucked that song.
They were in a real studio. It wasn't like a tour bus or something like that. They recorded it in a studio.
The picture was in a real studio.
The video, there's video of them like in there, like all chilling.
They fucked that song up.
I don't want to throw the engineer under the bus, but who engineered that?
Who engineered that, and then who actually like
let it fly out like that too?
Yo, it was too much.
They were too late on releasing it for one thing, because the hype had almost started going down, and then once it came out, it really started going down.
But when you have a beat like that, and you're producing it or you're creating a song, that is like a model. It has to be like a model song where you have like someone with a really clean flow and a distinct voice that could just really kind of just float over that beat. And I just think they overproduced it. It was definitely overproduced, it was just too much piled onto it.
I think it's still gonna work in the clubs though.
Oh, it does. It doesn't live up to my expectations of what it was going to be. If when I heard who was going to be on it, I'm like, oh, this is going to be, it's done.
Be the biggest
this is the joint.
They need to remix it, or someone needs to come up with a redrum or like redo this shit.
You guys are too A&R savvy. You want too much structure. I love this. I'm the same way. I need structure. I need a chorus, a bridge, all that stuff. And that's what makes great songs. People don't realize it. But kids, they're just being creative and they just put stuff out, and there's no, like I said, there's no buffer straight from SoundCloud to the label or to DJs. You know what I mean? Like they don't care about song structure.
It's
anymore.
not 320. Fuck it, throw the 95.
Exactly. that too. Over modulated bass and everything.
I mean, but that's the thing with us right now. That's why like someone will hear that song and be like, "Yo, that song's dope," and then we'll break down. And that's the problem with us too, is that we can't really listen to a song like that and just take it for what it is, because as soon as we hear it, the first 3 seconds, we're like, why did they start the song like this? They started the song horrible. Yeah. The reverb, the vocals, there's these things that we see that we're just like, yo, this was horribly done. It's like in my feelings when that shit like dropped, we were like, yo, this sounds horrible in the club.
They had to do the remix because the DJs were complaining so much about how
the remaster.
The remaster. I'm sorry. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know if it still hits, but
why is that happening now? At this stage in the game, with the fucking technology that we have, why is the sound of music getting worse? Isn't that crazy?
Especially the stuff that comes out on major labels, like somebody like Drake or something like that. Like you have how big is the team that's really getting together?
You know what? We got to talk about this too. Is that the quality of sound and music and sound has that's a dead thing. Remember THX?
Maybe they just want to push the product out.
No, motherfuckers would remember they would buy sound
stereos.
Systems. They would buy amps.
551.
There would be an amp deck. Yeah. They would have an amp deck, an equalizer deck. Mm-hmm. They'd have a tape deck. They'd have a CD deck. Remember? And then like a turntable, and then they would get the best monster cable wires.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Motherfuckers do not care about that. They're walking around with a pill. There's no appreciation for the actual sound quality of music.
The pill is horrible, in my opinion.
Well, they stream everything also, and there's no sound quality in that. You're not buying WAV files or anything. The average consumer everybody's has the same quality audio right now as well. So what's the point?
That's definitely ruining the experience of music too. That motherfuckers is and everyone has those shitty Apple
Oh yeah, the AirPods. Or whatever. Yeah. I have them. Yeah.
No, those are actually not bad.
At the gym.
Those aren't actually bad. I'm talking about the ones that like come with the fucking iPhones with the wires.
The regular ones.
Yeah. Everyone's listening to music horribly, bro.
Yeah, I remember the Bose headphones were the shit back in the day. Like if you had a pair of those, you were the man.
I use the in-ear Bose wired for like listening with a wire. Or whatever. The bass on those is crazy. But see, like I said, we're all audiophiles here. You know what I mean? We're not the average consumer, and when it comes down to it, are you gonna really worry about that if people are gonna buy it anyway?
Like no, but you need to. And then the problem is that people like us need to be in those rooms, and they need to. There needs to be a filter of that.
I would love, would you not love to have? You know, when these labels, they always hit us up about like, you'll come to this album listening or whatever. But by the time we go to it, like it comes out at midnight tonight. That's the album. It's like a party. I want to go to a studio session and be like, nah, this is wrong, man. Why can't you go back and do that?
Not even that. Like, I don't know if they do this at over there with you guys, but they have like mixer meetings with the DJs.
Oh yeah, I think that's what. They do.
Yeah, like that's why I think DJs need to speak up and be like, yo, that sounds kind of awful, or I like that, but I don't like this. That's where they should give the full review, not a listening party or some shit like that. I think it's there at that table.
Well, I've been to a few. I've been starting to mix again on Hot lately. Like in the summertime, I was doing some guest mixes, and at their mixer meetings, they do. Artists will come in. I've met a few artists that I didn't know about that will come in and play some of their stuff, and maybe that's when you have a chance to tell them. But most of the stuff, they're just going around and giving them labels. Will all throw in their stuff and. What do you think about this record? Blah, blah, blah. It's already done. They're ready to put it out. They're not going to go back and like redo the vocals or something like that. You got to be in the studio. Like they need to invite people into the studio with them. You know, which
like in the old times, they're
not going to do. But
because they don't give a fuck about the DJs playing this shit no more. They're like, oh yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, because it becomes a hit on Spotify or somewhere else first, and then we play it. We don't break the records.
Unfortunately, they don't need us.
Fuck the sound. That's what they're saying.
But remember we were talking about in our previous episode, or the one you were talking about the cult following.
Oh yeah,
and that's a great thing to have a cult following. But I also think it's a detriment because I think it allows you to kind of like
mediocre workouts.
The ones that have a cult following don't have mediocre sound.
That's
work.
That's true.
Logic's not throwing shit like that. Russ is not throwing shit like that. Cole is not doing that shit, or Kendrick.
But there are some that are doing that.
I don't know what.
That's not a cult. That's not a cult. Those are people that have fans. Like I'm talking about people that are like phenoms that come out of nowhere. How does this dude have 500,000 followers?
Yeah, that's a Russ. That's a Logic.
Yeah, but name some other ones that are whack that
like even Sheck West or somebody like that.
Sheck West.
How did he come out?
I want to know. That's just a one song.
Yeah, but there's actually. But no, I'm saying like these kids gravitate to them, and it becomes this cult following. Yo, I'm not fucking.
Yo, even Trinidad James still gets into every party.
Shouts to Trinidad James.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I love his music.
Yeah, he actually put out some dope stuff after the first album, but it's like he gets into all the parties and stuff. He still has a following.
But he's mad cool though. He's cool as fuck.
He's a very nice guy. We're talking about music.
No, that's why I think he's cool. He has relationships that he's mad cool.
Yeah, but once again, we're talking about music here. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only that, like someone that I don't really understand. I think they're talented, but I haven't seen it demonstrated in a majority of their work is Lil Uzi Vert. You know what I mean?
The only time I've seen it is when he created a sound, I think, with after EXO Tour Life, like that sound, which Juice WRLD ended up jacking, and a lot of the dudes that are coming out now ended up taking that. And I think that's the sound he should have just gone with and keep that vibe. And I think he created that, honestly. Like, it may sound like Ray Shremmerd or some of the guys that came before him.
But that's another one. Juice WRLD has already a cult following. Like
which is crazy.
I didn't even know who the fuck he was till we saw him that one day.
Oh. Yeah, I mean
that shit was crazy to me.
I mean that's what I'm talking about is that
because it's like you said, we should care about it, but now it's more visual. It's more Instagram. It's more all that stuff. They want people like these kids like showing like pounds of weed or something or like doing stupid stuff, and they get a following. Then they decide to put records out because they have that following already. I know mad artists like that in New York that were like. It all came out of Yeezy Season 3 fashion show. If you were there as a model, you end up you have a record deal now, basically. They got all the relationships. Travis Scott signed you, and that's how you're out now. It's because you had fans from you were related. People want to diss Kanye West so much now, but how many people are eating off of a relationship in 6 degrees of Kanye West, basically? At this point?
Definitely, yeah.
Young Thug.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Anybody in the industry pretty much is eating off of some kind of relationship.
Young Thug came out booming after that fashion show. They play.
There was a bunch of people though. Little Yachty boomed after that.
Sheck West was a model.
Yeah, everyone.
What's that kid? I forget his name. The little one.
Oh, I know the guy that told Kanye to go at Wiz. Ian Connor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ian Connor.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
that's
a lot of dudes.
But I don't know.
All the ASAP dudes like Bari and all this.
Do you ever witness like let's say big artists come in, you see their camp or you see certain things, and like, do you ever witness like industry plants where like a label?
I think it all the time. Like I think everybody thought that.
Break down what an industry plant is.
It's you want an artist in this day and age of like social media and fandom and grassroots or whatever of earning fans from your like Instagram account. You want your artist that you've signed to come out like you haven't signed them, and you want them to have an organic marketing. Whereas you want to make it like kids found this person and then we just signed them because they were already popping. Whereas you already have a 360 deal with them and you're gonna get their money no matter what. And you want to, and they're basically in the game already. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to make it look like you.
It's almost like setting up an American Idol.
Yes.
Except you know who's gonna win and you've already picked the winner, but you're just setting it up so that you're like, wow, this dude won American Idol.
He's really good with his fans. You know, like he just. Like I wonder how he got in that room with that celebrity that he took a picture with.
Are you seeing that more and more?
Oh yeah, that's how you do it now, man. I mean, there are some people that are like Bama's somewhere in their like room making a song and like it ends up blowing up on Instagram because people like to dance to it or it's catchy or something like that. And then they get signed for that one song and then they come out of nowhere. But there are other people that are groomed by the same people. How did you get in the studio with that same producer that the other like how'd you get that opportunity? You know what I'm saying? Those are the people that I think are quote unquote industry plants.
Has there been an artist that came up to you and was like, yo, take my mixtape, play my song, and then you're like, and then they shot up and blew up?
We've broke a lot of records on Sway in the Morning. Like
but has there been an artist that you kinda like
thought was
that kinda came at you like, yo, play my record, and you're like, and then fucking 6 months later is like a big star and you kind of passed up and you kind of regret that and just sits with you in bad state.
I'm trying to think of the dudes we had. Let's see. Nick Grant, I mean, I don't know. He's like kind of popping. He like kind of started. I didn't understand his potential. He's on now. Like the records we broke were like ASAP Ferg Work. But we had a relationship with Rocky but I knew Ferg was always like the star to me, honestly. So we played that first. Bobby Shmurda,
Free.
We had played that first. It's a lot of people, man. But I think even now it's hard for I don't know. I get a bunch of DMs. I try to listen to everything also. You know what I mean? At DJ Wonder if you want to send something my way, whatever. But they have to have a following before they pop off, and they get that following, I think, through somebody giving them that access. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because there's a million kids trying to do it. How come that one person breaks through? Is their music really that great?
Do you think? What do you call it? The scene's gonna change in hip hop drastically in the next year.
You mean like a style of music, or like are we getting away from?
Well, at some point, right?
Yeah.
I mean in the last month, the number of shitty albums that have come out has been crazy, no? Like Sheck West, Mudboy, the Quavo joint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to change because they're starting to write think pieces about it, which we never really saw before.
And I think the kids are going to get smarter. They're going to get older, and they're going to realize, yo, this is all bullshit. We're not going to listen to these motherfuckers no more. And there's going to be a revolution, or not a revolution, but there's going to be a drastic change where that's going to just completely die. It's going to become like, kids are smart now. They're going to see like, oh, yeah, like they're just tapping into some shit now, and we're over it.
What do you think these kids are going to do whose whole basis of their persona and everything else is being young and living wild or whatever? Like when the next generation comes and takes their spot, are they going to like off themselves, or like what are they going to do? Like,
I don't think they're living wild. I think they're just doing it in front of a camera. I think once the camera's off, I think their life is pretty much like any other kid's life.
You think so?
And I think that's the problem, is that it doesn't really matter unless the camera's on.
What happens when the cameras stop? What's going to happen?
Well, they're going to, I think, well, you guys can speak, because I think that's what's they're going to realize what needs to happen, is that what happens on camera doesn't matter anymore. That everyone knows when the camera's on, so they're acting a certain way. So the only thing that's going to be real is actual face-to-face, in-person experiences. So I think there is.
It's like a TV show or a movie.
Well, life has become a TV show and a movie now. You don't trust anything you see, right? Yeah. I don't really trust anything I see on social media. It's all, everyone knows how to do PR and con the public to create a image of themselves now.
Smoke and mirrors.
It's all smoke and mirrors now. Yeah. So at a certain point, we're all gonna realize it's bullshit. And then what's gonna matter? It's gonna matter is real life experiences, right? Mm-hmm. And the point is, when is that gonna happen? When is that bubble gonna pop?
Dude, YouTube crashed yesterday. And let me tell you, all them fucking creators were fucking scrambling.
That shit went going crazy about that shit.
Yeah, that shit went worldwide, just crashed. It wasn't playing anything.
Yeah, but it came back up.
Yeah, but you saw like YouTubers worry. Like you saw like, what's going on with YouTube, guys?
That's the adding YouTube. Yo, anybody that addresses their fans as guys, look at it. Like,
dude, I hate that.
I could never in my life be.
Hey guys.
Guys, today we're gonna do an unboxing, guys.
Yeah, I hate that shit.
I used to do that.
Oh my god!
In the sneaker world, hey.
Well, you grew up with basically YouTube. Honestly, I wish and I don't wish that I had YouTube growing up.
I grew up like beginning of YouTube, though. Like towards the end, like when I got old, I was like, yeah. But the beginning of it was pretty cool.
But remember when we were growing up, everyone said TV was the devil, right?
But we all wanted to be on it.
No, but but like watching TV, you're
for real.
You're rotting your mind. You're watching TV, like iPhones. It just goes through the same thing. Like 200 years ago, when kids were reading books, they were like, "You're just reading a book. Put the fucking book down and go out and do something."
No. Yeah, my mom monitored how much TV I watched.
Yeah,
there was not much going on.
But that's what I'm saying is that every decade or every few whatever generations go through, there's something like TV's gonna rot your brain. You guys keep listening to the radio. The radio is going to rot your brain. Mm-hmm. You keep reading those fantasy books. Those fantasy books are going to rot your brain. You know what I mean?
That was like a minimum. Now social media is like full 100.
That's the other thing. That was a hobby for all those generations. That's something you did. And then, we're going back to real life. I have to go plow the field or I have to go do this.
Right.
Now, social media is the devil. You're going to time out. Okay, go back to your school lesson on the same iPad. Like, you understand? Like, everything is electronic, everything is technology, so it's always going to be ingrained in us. Are we going to put that stuff down? No.
It's up to the parents. It's really up to the parents.
Oh yeah, my little niece, she's 4, and she's like, she goes to her mom like, "Give me my iPhone," and I'm like, "No, come on, we're going outside. We're going to throw this ball around a little bit."
Yeah,
because she's stuck on like, "I want the iPhone," and I'm like, "No, you're fucking 4."
See, like it's already bad that she knows. Like,
she knows what the iPhone. She knows what the YouTube is.
For like what do you call it? My niece, my sister raised my niece with no TV. There's no TV in her crib. The kid's 11 now, and just started using computers like maybe 2 years ago. They pick up everything quickly, but the whole point is that she has no impulse to be on the phone. She has no impulse to watch TV. She has no impulse for like certain things, and it's just how you raise them.
No, so, I'm trying to cut that out.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard.
She's not my kid, but I'm like, yo, come here. Look, this is a bat and this is a ball. This is how we play baseball.
Infants you have to get their Instagram page as soon as you name them to make sure nobody else has their Instagram page. And then kids like at age 2 or 3 get their own YouTube channel now.
Yeah.
So this is what we're dealing with.
There's this little kid that she watches on YouTube. His name is Ryan's World or some shit like that. And this motherfucking little kid of 8 years old has like 3 million subscribers. Mm-hmm. Of all little kids, that Walmart picked him up and gave him his own fucking line of toys. So now we're at Walmart buying this little kid's fucking toys because this guy's a new thing on the YouTube for little kids. So it's fucking insane how shit gets monetized and everything. It's nuts.
I mean, it was kind of always, there was always a phenomenon like that. Everyone wanted an Elmo doll. Elmo was big. Sesame Street was big. I just think...
Cabbage Patch.
I think social media is just a problem.
I just think the internet in general, I always thought it was a joke. Even when, like, my friend was like getting into business with it back in like the late 90s or whatever. I'm like, it's a joke. It's something. Like, now that I see people are really making legitimate money, like, and they've been doing it for a while. Like, it's the new medium. You know what I mean? And it is. For it to become straight to your door, there's little access points. Like, you just turn it on and it's right there. You know what I mean? And anybody can get it. A lot of times you don't got to pay for a lot of this stuff. It just goes along with the quality of the music, the quality of entertainment in general. That's what it is. It's immediate and then forgotten about. And I hope it doesn't be like that.
I think the only way you can like teach kids to appreciate music is just to really go back to like records and having them take the vinyl out of the sleeve, look at the album, place it on there, place the needle on there.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
It's just that
she sees me with the turntable. She's like, "We're gonna play music." I'm like, "Yes, we're gonna play music," because she knows when the turntable goes on, we're playing music.
It's something about that tangibility, you know. I mean, just I don't even know if that's a word, but
tangible,
just having it tangible, and then like while you're listening to it, you're looking at the artwork, and there's something about that creates a moment, a memorable moment, ingrained in your brain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, it's very different from searching a name and then pulling it up on your phone and then playing it, and then you're not even looking at the phone. You're not looking at the next song playing. You're not looking at who made shit. You're just letting it play, and it just becomes.
Crooked's future children will be having Black Rob Whoa promos. That's what they'll know.
I mean, I think 100%. Like
the bad boys.
The bad boys.
I think playing music. I think there's got to be a different way to play music. That's it. And it's just
maybe you know, people like the retro stuff. Urban Outfitters gets vinyl and all that stuff. Maybe there will be some kind of new medium where it is more hands on.
We'll just think about like a kid's like. I'm sorry to cut you off.
I'm about to say vinyl sales went up. Yeah. It's been going up every year.
Yeah, but think about the sensibility of a kid, right? Like it's overload. What the iPhone can produce and the images and everything. That's a sensory overload, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's way too crazy. Wait, what's the time right now? 2:50. Wow, you hit 3 hours, man.
All right,
it's not bad.
It's okay.
Yeah, it went fast. I didn't even know that was 3 hours, bro.
No.
All right, can I get some stuff out before I get out of here? Is that a pause?
Yeah, get some stuff out.
So put it out there, baby.
On Jamie's face.
All right. I want to reach out to booking agencies. I'm ready.
I'm for the call.
You filthy little people. I'm finally ready. So you can reach me.
Give them your email, bro. Let them know.
I give them the one from the website, Eric, E-R-I-K, at djwonder.com. Eric at djwonder.com. You can do bookings, or if you're an agent that wants to get down. I have a management, this girl that's like looking to manage me now. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to do that, and I don't even know if it's worth it.
Just do it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm like, I don't like giving up my money, but I guess you make more money in the back end.
Gotta spend money to make money.
Yeah.
All right, so more parties that I want to play. I want to play the do-over again. I've played it. You guys, you got to book me next year, okay?
Who exactly are you talking to right now?
He's talking to everybody.
I'm talking to specific guys.
He's talking to literally other DJs who are trying to find gigs.
Exactly. I need to play the do-over again. I want to play 143. Sam, I want to play 143 again. Let me do that.
I heard that's a great party.
Yeah, it's a great party.
It's very fun, very fun.
You play at Los Globos in Silver Lake?
Yeah, I believe I played Los Globos. Yeah. Let's see. That's about it.
This is
bookings. Come holler at me.
This is the DJ Wonder wish list.
MoMA, you guys do MoMA party.
Oh yeah, MoMA. He already know, man. I'm gonna stop coming to your parties, man. You know why I come? I come to hang out, but throw me in there every so often if you have a spot.
It's a great party.
Well, definitely after doing this podcast, you're gonna get the exposure you need, and your rate's gonna go up.
Thank you.
Oh,
yeah, 100%.
Yo, but with other DJs, every DJ I know listens to this straight up. So, and look, anybody wants me to come to their city and come hang out with you guys, I'll come. I'm talking to DJs right now. I'll come play wherever. You guys want to do a guest set on Sway? If you're nice, I will, not as a nice person, but if you're nice on the tables or whatever, like, I will put you on if we have openings in 2019. We're pretty much booked the rest of this year. And I'm trying to always get new people on that I haven't had before, because I like to see what people are playing around the country. It's dope.
Shout out to you, man, for supporting us and shit like that.
Yeah, thank you for coming through, man.
Yeah. If you guys have a slot in Sirius XM, then let us know.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you.
We'll put in an hour of this whole 3 hours.
Most people work about 5 years for no pay before they get their show. But yeah, sure.
We're already doing it for free for you.
Don't forget to tell Sway I said what's up.
You make sure you tell him.
And then next time in New York, I want to be on the show.
You got it, man. Yeah. Let me know.
He's down.
Damn, are you asking or telling this motherfucker?
He just told me.
Next time I'm in New York, you got me? All right, bet.
Yo, I want to thank you for coming.
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, man. Thank you.
Mad fun.
Thank you.